Chapter 921. Unmoved, 3 consecutive wins. For Lin Mo Yu, whether you were a peak Tier 3 Transcendent God, or even a Tier 4 Transcendent God, it was a direct kill, without any suspense. In a fair fight, Lin Mo Yu had never feared anyone, and basically always achieved a one-hit kill. Even when facing opponents 1 or 2 levels higher, it was the same. First challenge victory. The second challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current cumulative reward, 100 points. Winning one match was 100 points, exactly the same as an ordinary challenge task. Then how many points could be obtained for winning the second match? The second opponent would be stronger, so logically, the points should also be higher. Lin Mo Yu was looking forward to it. Perhaps he could make a fortune here today. Soon, a new opponent appeared in sight. Lin Mo Yu was slightly stunned. Why is it still you? It was still Zhuang Bai, no one had changed. The person hadn't changed, but the strength was different. This time, Zhuang Bai's strength reached Tier 4 Transcendent God. Zhuang Bai said with a sneer, why can't it be me? I was careless just now and fell for your trick, this time see how I abuse you. Lin Mo Yu sighed, alright. It was foreseeable that Zhuang Bai would still fall for it this time. However, Lin Mo Yu was also a little curious. The opponents found by the Human Emperor Arena didn't seem to be people who needed to do tasks. But thinking about it, if people doing tasks challenged each other, someone would inevitably only get 10 points. That would go against the original intention. The purpose of the human race was to cultivate, not internal competition. Of course, competition was also needed, but not now. Right now, these people were only transcendent gods, even transcendent gods who weren't even cannon fodder. Properly cultivating them first was the most important thing. As the countdown ended, Zhuang Bai burst out with brilliant light and charged over again. He was faster than before, and the colorful light on his body transformed into a suit of armor. Lin Mo Yu tapped his fingers twice. Fusion spell, time curse. Stellar level spell, undead gaze. Red light filled the air, and a giant undead eye appeared above the arena. Zhuang Bai groaned and was thrown out of his rapid charge. He cried out miserably and fell to the ground. Then a gust of cold wind blew, and the undead eye had locked onto him. Subsequently, his figure disappeared from the arena, and the Human Emperor Network determined that he had died again. Second challenge victory. The third challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current cumulative reward, 300 points. Seeing the prompt, Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly, an increase of 200 points. The first match was 100, the second was 200, I wonder if the third will be 300 or 400. If it's 400, then the progress of doing the task will be much faster. Lin Mo Yu's eyes were filled with joy. His ability to challenge beyond his level was not just 2 tiers. If that was the case, he could really make a fortune today. Ren Chang, as the only audience member, was once again stunned at this time, muttering, how easy. He had known for a long time that Lin Mo Yu had the ability to challenge beyond his level, killing the Black Gadfly clan was so easy. But he never thought that Lin Mo Yu's strength would be so strong. This was challenging beyond his level, a Tier 3 Transcendent God fighting a Tier 4, and the result was just standing there without moving, casually tapping his finger, and it was done. He saw the whole process, and only felt that Lin Mo Yu had become incredibly mysterious. He forcibly ordered himself to concentrate and continue watching. After a while, the next opponent appeared again. Zhuang Bai returned, exuding the aura of a Tier 5 Transcendent God. This time, his strength reached Tier 5 Transcendent God. Lin Mo Yu looked at him, what I thought should be right, he should have suppressed his strength. But even so, his manipulation of the laws is far superior to others of the same level. If a battle occurs between the same level, the challenger will hardly be able to defeat him unless they also have the ability to challenge beyond their level. No wonder he is so confident, saying he's just crushing weaklings. Those who have just reached the Transcendent God level are indeed no different from rookies in his eyes. Unfortunately, he met me. Lin Mo Yu had analyzed the situation pretty well. Zhuang Bai returned again, somewhat exasperated, you brat, I won't fail this time, prepare to die. Lin Mo Yu sighed softly, we shall see. The battle began again. Zhuang Bai roared, and his whole body burst out with brilliant light. Similar to the colorful armor just now, but stronger than before. Zhuang Bai shouted loudly, my 5-colored armor has soul defense capabilities from Tier 5 Transcendent God onwards, your attacks will no longer be useful. Lin Mo Yu didn't say a word, and still tapped his finger. Stellar level spell. Bone Prison. 4-star spell linkage. Bone Spear, Bone Fangs, Bone Prison, Bone Armor. Lin Mo Yu controlled the spells, using bone armor on himself, and only using the first 3 on Zhuangbai. A layer of white bones suddenly appeared on Zhuangbai's body. Using Bone Prison with Lin Mo Yu's Tier 3 Transcendent God Strength, controlling Zhuangbai was no problem. Zhuangbai instantly fell into a state of paralysis, unmoving. Then Bone Fangs and Bone Spear erupted at the same time. Almost instantly, it caused heavy damage to him. White light erupted, and the 5-colored armor exploded, his body was almost shattered. Ren Chang watched with his own eyes, countless holes appeared on Zhuangbai's body, some large and some small. Zhuangbai became a hornet's nest in an instant. Zhuangbai's eyes widened, and the trauma to his body made him feel intense pain. The Emperor Network not only simulates realistic visuals but also all the senses. The sensations within the Emperor Network are identical to those in reality. With one attack, Zhuangbai didn't die. His entire body erupted once more with dazzling light, his aura continuously soaring, and large cracks appeared on his bones. It looked as if he was about to break free from the shackles of the bone prison. At this moment, Lin Mo pointed his fingers several times in succession. The bone prison was instantly reinforced, and Zhuangbai's body was torn to pieces in the white light. Ren Chang murmured, "Too strong," he solved it without even moving. It was the same for all 3 matches, Lin Mo didn't even move a step. Zhuangbai was killed so frustratingly. However, the 3rd match was a bit better, at least there was a tiny bit of resistance. Unlike the first 2 matches, where he was instantly killed. 3rd challenge victory. The 4th challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current cumulative reward. 700 points. Lin Mo saw the task prompt and clenched his fist excitedly, his eyes revealing joy. 400 points, great. Then, will the next match become 800 points? If it continues like this, I can upgrade to level 3 permissions after winning 3 more matches. If it really goes as Lin Mo thought, the next match would be 800 points, then 1600 and 3200. Including the previous ones, he could get a total of 6300 points. Enough for him to upgrade his permissions to level 3. With level 3 permissions, the activity area is larger, and he can accept more tasks. But according to this, a transcendent god of the 8th order is not easy to deal with. I'll know after fighting. In Lin Mo's eyes, the will to fight was burning. Chapter 922. That's too much, not even letting people finish their sentences. The purpose of the Emperor Arena is definitely not just simply completing tasks. Lin Mo comprehended the previous 3 battles. Although his opponents were easily killed by him, their arrogance was very clearly displayed. Although he didn't know if this performance was deliberate or genuine. At least it allowed him to clearly feel it. After the previous experiences, Lin Mo felt that the entire task system was not that simple. Each item seemed to contain a profound meaning within it. The role of the arena is to allow challengers to clearly recognize where their limits are, and where the gap between themselves and their opponents lies. Even at the same level, one is not necessarily the strongest. At the same time, the other party's high and mighty attitude, as well as their ruthless methods, can all arouse a competitive spirit. If one is struck down and becomes discouraged in the arena, such a person does not have the heart of a strong person and is not needed by the human race. A strong person must become braver and more resilient with each setback, possessing an unyielding belief. Lin Mo felt that he had comprehended the purpose of the Emperor Arena. Another figure appeared again, his new round of opponent had appeared. Unsurprisingly, it was his old acquaintance, Zhuangbai. This time, Zhuangbai was no longer as crazy as before, the ferocity on his expression had receded, and he seemed to have calmed down. This situation made Lin Mo feel that the opponent had become more difficult to deal with. Zhuangbai looked at Lin Mo, his eyes gradually becoming sharp. "Lin boy, you are very good, not many can win 3 consecutive matches." Lin Mo bowed slightly towards Zhuangbai. "Senior, you flatter me, this junior is far from it." Zhuangbai waved his hand. "I'm not praising you, I'm just stating a fact. Good is good, you don't need to be too modest. Moreover, in the great world, if you are talented enough, then show it to the fullest. The seniors in the clan value geniuses the most." Lin Mo's heart skipped a beat. What Zhuangbai said seemed to be different from what Antares said. In these few words, Zhuangbai revealed a lot of information. These days, he personally felt that the human race seemed to spare no effort to cultivate geniuses. The more talented one is, the more attention they attract from the higher-ups. In other words, if something really happens, geniuses can be protected. The more talented one is, the more they should show it. This sentence is not wrong. Lin Mo sincerely bowed towards Zhuang Bai. Thank you for your guidance, senior. Zhuang Bai waved his hand. Next, I will have to be serious. Lin Mo nodded. Senior, please make your move, this junior will not be polite either. Thinking in his heart, Zhuang Bai didn't seem to have held back before. No, it should be said that he didn't have the chance to hold back. He didn't even have a chance to make a move, he was instantly killed. This time, his strength has recovered to the 6th order of Transcendent God. I wonder how serious he will be. The countdown ended, and a sword appeared in Zhuang Bai's hand again. It was still the same sword as before, possessing 5-colored radiance, with laws churning on the sword, looking extremely powerful. This time, he didn't directly rush towards Lin Mo, but instead let out a light shout, and his whole body also erupted with 5-colored radiance, merging with the light of the sword in his hand. 5-colored armor, Zhuang Bai had mentioned it before. His 5-colored armor can not only protect himself but also resist soul attacks. However, the defensive power displayed at the 5th order of Transcendent God is far inferior to the destructive power displayed by Lin Mo's spells. At that time, the 5-colored armor was instantly shattered. Now that Zhuang Bai is using the power of the 6th order of Transcendent God to display the 5-colored armor again, it is indeed much stronger than before. With each increase in level, there will be a huge increase in strength. Dense laws were presented on the 5-colored armor, and the armor turned into a solid form. Originally, Zhuang Bai's not-so-strong figure became majestic under the armor's contrast. Go! Zhuang Bai pointed his finger, and the long sword shot out like lightning, rushing straight at Lin Mo. The speed was so fast that it was like an instant. Before the sound could even travel over, the sword had already appeared in front of him. Lin Mo's pupils shrank, he didn't expect the other party's movements to be so fast. However, fast as fast, Lin Mo doesn't take the attack of the 6th order of Transcendent God seriously. Even saying, he can ignore it. As the sword approached, Lin Mo raised his hand and pointed his finger on the tip of the sword. Ding! A soft sound rang out, and the long sword stopped moving forward. Zhuang Bai's face changed drastically, he never expected that his sure-kill sword would be blocked by Lin Mo's finger. Explode! With an angry roar, the long sword exploded, the laws rumbled, and it turned into a 5-colored mad dragon, devouring Lin Mo. Lin Mo ignored the 5-colored mad dragon, letting it engulf him completely. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers AAAAA. The bone armor shone brightly, and the 4-star spell linkage was instantly activated. Bone prison, bone fangs, and bone spears simultaneously locked onto Zhuang Bai. The effect of the bone prison will be greatly increased when dealing with single targets. Coupled with the boost from a 4-star spell, even Zhuang Bai, who had reached the 6th rank of the Transcendent level, would be affected. A layer of white appeared on the 5-colored armor, as bones enveloped it. The 5-colored armor creaked, resisting the bone prison. Lin Mo estimated in his mind that the bone prison could trap Zhuang Bai for at least 1 second. In 1 second, enough could be done. Bone fangs and bone spears erupted one after another, and a pure white light rose up, turning Zhuang Bai into a giant light bulb once more. The fangs and spears, with unparalleled penetrating power, bombarded Zhuang Bai's 5-colored armor. 0. The 5-colored armor vibrated violently, making clanging sounds, enduring tens of thousands of strikes in an instant, as if it were about to shatter at any moment. Zhuang Bai's expression changed drastically. Lin Mo was unscathed under his lawful mad dragon. His attacks were ineffective, but Lin Mo's attacks made him feel frightened. Where did this monster come from? Zhuang Bai cursed inwardly, his entire aura rising again, instantly reaching the peak of the 6th rank of the Transcendent level. The already crumbling 5-colored armor exploded, along with the bone prison. The 5-colored armor transformed into 8 golden shields, firmly protecting Zhuang Bai. Spell: 8-directional armor shield. Zhuang Bai said, "You're really good, forcing me to use my 8-directional armor shield. In front of my 8-directional armor shield, all your attacks will be." Before he could finish speaking, a white light flashed in front of him again. Bone prison, bone fangs, and bone spears erupted simultaneously. That's too much, not even letting me finish my sentence, Zhuangbai cursed. Lin Mo waved his hand. I didn't do anything. Lin Mo really didn't do anything. These were all natural reactions produced by the spell linkage. Zhuangbai's attacks never stopped, the bone armor was constantly activated, and then under the spell linkage, it constantly attacked Zhuangbai. As long as Zhuangbai's attacks didn't stop, the spell linkage wouldn't stop, and it would be an infinite loop. Zhuangbai was stunned, and said blankly, multi-star spell. Lin Mo nodded, yeah. Chapter 923. All directions shocked, experts gather. Zhuangbai was a little depressed, feeling like Lin Mo hadn't even made a move. He had become so embarrassed just by relying on multi-star spells. This was unacceptable to Zhuangbai. He had clearly used the strength of the 6th rank of the Transcendent level, but he still couldn't beat a 3rd rank of the Transcendent level. He roared, and the 8-directional armor shield began to rotate rapidly, its defensive power increasing again. The 8-directional armor shield scattered the bones in all attacks. Zhuangbai cast another spell, and countless swords were born out of thin air, falling towards Lin Mo like raindrops. The swords were formed from laws, with terrifying power. Lin Mo stood in the rain of swords, unmoved. The bone armor still shone, driving the multi-star spells, continuously attacking. His attacks were ineffective again. Zhuangbai was extremely depressed. Can't you have some other tricks? Lin Mo originally wanted to see Zhuangbai's methods. After all, the first 3 matches were fought too quickly, this one could be slowed down a bit. But now it seemed that he was still limited by his level. Zhuangbai was obviously unable to exert all his combat power. As you wish. Lin Mo pointed lightly towards the top of Zhuangbai's head. A gust of cold wind blew past, and Zhuangbai couldn't help but shiver. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sky, followed by a dragon's roar resounding. It's so cold, where did the dragon's roar come from? Zhuangbai looked towards the sky with doubt, and was immediately startled. Damn, where did this dragon come from? A skeletal dragon, breathing flames and wrapped in the law of undead, descended from the sky. A mouthful of gray-white dragon breath spewed out, instantly enveloping Zhuangbai. The 8-directional armor shield creaked in the dragon's breath, as if it would collapse at any moment. Since Lin Mo had already made a move, he wouldn't be polite. 4-star spell, Bone Prison. This time it wasn't an automatic counterattack triggered by spell linkage, but Lin Mo actively casting the spell and having it carry the law. Its power was several times stronger than before. In the white light, Zhuangbai's proud 8-directional armor shield shattered. His body was also torn to pieces by the dragon's breath and the fangs and spears in an instant. 4th challenge victory. The 5th challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current accumulated reward, 1500 points. Just as Lin Mo won his 4th victory, many human high-level executives received information at the same time. In the Human Emperor Network, if someone wins 4 consecutive victories in the continuous challenge mission, it is enough to prove that they have the ability to challenge beyond their level. Being able to defeat opponents 3 ranks above themselves, such people are undoubtedly top geniuses. The human race's high-level executives are eager for talents. In just a few seconds, many more people suddenly appeared in the stands, which were originally only occupied by Ren Chang. Each of them exuded a strong pressure, their bodies were surrounded by laws, and their aura was terrifying. It was clear at a glance that they were important figures. The immense pressure swept the audience, and the atmosphere on the stage became extremely oppressive. Ren Chang was taken aback. In front of these people, he felt like a small shrimp. Even breathing became very difficult. He curled up, not daring to speak, and not daring to leave. The people who came looked at each other, nodded in greeting, and did not have much communication with each other. They were all from the Vermilion Bird Star territory, held high positions, and knew each other, so they didn't need too much courtesy. Soon, another person appeared in the arena. As soon as he appeared, everyone saluted him. Greetings, Territory Lord. The Territory Lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory, Zhu Tian. He was the 3rd oldest in his family, and was called Zhu Laosan by Luo Changkan. Zhu Tian nodded slightly, signaling everyone not to be too polite. His gaze turned to the side and saw Ren Chang, who was already shivering on the ground. Coincidentally, Zhu Tian appeared next to Ren Chang. Ren Chang recognized Zhu Tian, the dignified territory lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory, the one and only existence in the Vermilion Bird Star territory. How could he not recognize him? But his identity was too far away from Zhu Tian's identity. Just a glance made Ren Chang collapse to the ground in fear, truly shrinking into a shrimp. Others were already terrifying, but this one was even more terrifying. And he just happened to appear next to him. Ren Chang regretted it 10,000 times in his heart. He knew he should have come to watch. He was really unlucky. Ren Chang had been in a high position for many years, and his dignity was too heavy for ordinary people to bear. He glanced at Ren Chang and said in a deep voice, "Do you know him?" Ren Chang knew that Zhu Tian was referring to Lin Mo Yu and didn't dare to talk nonsense. "We just met not long ago." Zhu Tian nodded. "Stand aside and watch." Ren Chang didn't dare to refute and directly retreated to the side, continuing to shrink back. Zhu Tian's gaze fell on Lin Mo Yu. As one of the people who knew Lin Mo Yu best, his eyes were full of admiration. At this time, many people who came over were checking Lin Mo Yu's information. They had high permissions, and normally, they could see a lot of Lin Mo Yu's information. But now, all they could see was his name and Lin Mo Yu's current permissions. Other information was completely inaccessible. One by one, they looked strange. This had never happened before. Zhu Tian laughed inwardly. "You want to check on the person I've taken a liking to? Dream on." He knew that some of these people belonged to the War God Hall. The War God Hall wanted to snatch someone from him. How could he give these people a chance? He hid Lin Mo Yu's information. Unless their permissions were equal to his or higher, they couldn't access it. But in the human race, very few people had permissions equal to his. Even fewer had higher permissions than him. The others seemed to realize something and looked at Zhu Tian one by one. Zhu Tian remained calm and composed, his eyes slightly narrowed, without saying a word. Lin Mo Yu saw these people who suddenly appeared on the stage but didn't care. Since there were stands, naturally, people would come to watch. There was nothing strange about it. He guessed that it was because the people he was challenging were getting stronger and stronger, which had attracted attention. On the arena, not only could he not hear any sound, but he also couldn't feel any pressure from the stands. The stands and the arena seemed like two different worlds. The countdown was halfway through, and Zhuangbai appeared on the arena again. Before he could release his new round of bold statements, he saw the crowd in the stands. He was immediately startled. "Star Lord Wang, Star Lord Zhang, Southern Hall Master." He muttered silently in his heart. These people were all extraordinary figures, at least star lords of a star system, and high-level star systems at that. His reaction was much better than Ren Chang's. At least he wasn't so frightened that he collapsed on the ground. Until he saw Domain Lord Zhu Tian, he was almost scared to jump up on the spot. Why is even Domain Lord here? What's going on? Winning 4 consecutive matches isn't something that's never happened before. Zhu Tian's gaze flew towards Zhuangbai, giving him a look. The meaning was to tell him to go all out and not hold back. Hold back? How could I hold back? Zhuangbai cursed inwardly. How could he hold back? In the first 3 matches, he didn't even have a chance to attack. The 4th match was a little better, but not by much. After 4 matches, Lin Mo Yu hadn't even moved a step. "You big monster, I'm going to fight you." Chapter 924. Even after fighting like this, it's still not going all out. 5th match, Transcendent God rank 7. Exceeding Lin Mo Yu by a full 4 ranks. Although, the stronger the strength, the greater the difference between ranks. At the God Venerable level, a difference of 1 rank could be a world of difference. But even in the Transcendent God rank, a difference of 4 ranks was still very considerable. Normally, a Transcendent God rank 7 could easily crush a Transcendent God rank 3. The countdown ended, the restrictions on the arena disappeared, and the battle began. Zhuangbai's body once again burst out with 5-colored light, which then merged together, transforming into an octagonal shield armor made of gold. 8 huge golden shield armors surrounded his body, emitting an even stronger aura than before. The moment Zhuangbai activated his defense, Lin Mo Yu also made his move. A skeleton god general emerged in response. The skeleton god general was now over 10 meters tall, carrying a huge sense of oppression, and crossed the distance of 1,000 meters in just 1 step, arriving in front of Zhuangbai. The white bone long sword in his hand slashed down. The undying law roared, and hundreds of meters of sword energy seemed to cut through the sky. Zhuangbai's face changed drastically, and he jumped up to avoid it. At this time, dark clouds churned in the sky, and a death dragon knight flew in the air. Not the previous skeleton dragon, but the more powerful death dragon knight. The dragon spewed dragon breath, covering most of the arena. Zhuang Bai's octagonal shield armor creaked in the dragon breath. The dragon breath was stronger than the skeleton dragons just now. Even though Zhuang Bai's strength had increased to rank 7, he still felt immense pressure. How can it be so strong? Zhuang Bai's face changed drastically, and he shouted, strengthening the octagonal shield armor by several points, stabilizing the situation. At this time, the Death Dragon Knight launched a charge, its huge body crashing straight into Zhuang Bai like lightning. A roar rang out, like striking a large bell, and Zhuang Bai was knocked away. The skeleton god general swung his sword again. This sword was faster than before, the sword light was brilliant, and it firmly locked onto Zhuang Bai. Zhuang Bai's face changed again. This summon actually knows magic. Destructive strike, which could unleash 10 times the skeleton god general's own attack power. The sword energy was upon him. Zhuang Bai couldn't dodge, roaring and trying to resist. Suddenly, his head hurt. The skeleton god general's soul fire flickered, its eyes flashing with terrifying light. Soul bombardment, continuously bombarding the target's soul. Zhuang Bai only felt countless explosions in his soul, blasting him into a daze, making it difficult to concentrate for a while. This thing also knows soul attacks. What the hell is this? This guy is actually a summoner, no wonder he hasn't moved. Zhuang Bai's head became dizzy, his thoughts were difficult to concentrate, and thinking became difficult. The octagonal shield armor finally shattered under the combined attack of the skeleton god general and the Death Dragon Knight. The next second, the sword energy engulfed Zhuang Bai, the dragon breath descended, and his body turned into a raging flame. 5th challenge victory. The 6th challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current accumulated reward, 3,100 points. Lin Moyu took a deep breath. This time, he chose to take the initiative, taking the lead, using the skeleton god general and the Death Dragon Knight to completely suppress Zhuang Bai. It was a surprise attack, and Zhuang Bai's transcendent god rank 7 strength couldn't even be used halfway before he was killed. If Zhuang Bai could have reacted a little faster, he might have been able to delay for a while. After all, he was transcendent god rank 7, not a small cat or dog of rank 2 or 3. Lin Moyu took a deep breath, quietly waiting for the next battle. After watching from outside the arena, everyone's eyes showed a gleam. Finally, a big shot couldn't help but speak. I thought it would be a wonderful battle, but I didn't expect it to be a one-sided fight. I think it's even more exciting this way. This little guy named Lin Moyu has a very precise grasp of the battlefield. These two summons are very strong. It seems his spells are at least star level, maybe even multi-star level. More than that, his soul is also very strong. Although I can't see the specific level, it's at least 2nd grade peak. In their eyes, Lin Moyu hadn't moved at all, only using 2 spells. But that was enough to analyze a lot of information. These were all old monsters who had lived for who knows how many years, and had seen too many people and things. Lin Moyu couldn't hear their discussions, but he felt that there was something wrong with these people's eyes. They were all staring at him, making him very uncomfortable. Especially the last one who appeared, even more so, making him feel uncomfortable all over. Zhu Tian narrowed his eyes, his heart already filled with joy. The better Lin Moyu performed, the happier he was. Lin Moyu was a person from his Vermilion Bird Star region. If he could be accepted as a disciple by the city lord, the entire Vermilion Bird Star region would benefit. As far as he knew, the old guys from the other star regions were also looking for geniuses. He had also looked before, but hadn't found anyone suitable. The city lord's standards were too high, ordinary geniuses definitely wouldn't do. There were plenty of geniuses in Divine City. Now that he had found Lin Moyu, he wouldn't let him go. Lin Moyu couldn't stand Zhu Tian's gaze, his whole body tingling, and couldn't help but avoid it. Jing Zhuangbi returned once again. Sure enough, in less than 2 minutes, Zhuangbi's figure appeared opposite him. Zhuangbi's expression at this time was as ugly as if he had eaten a spoiled egg. He had lost again, his supergod 7th order strength unable to defeat a supergod 3rd order. And it was in front of so many big shots, he was very depressed. He spent a minute summarizing his gains and losses, and this time he was determined to win. The strength suppression had already decreased to 920 supergod 8th order, he didn't believe he would lose again. Lin Moyu saw that Zhuangbi didn't say a word and became very silent. He knew that this guy was definitely going to get serious. He estimated that several consecutive failures had already made him very uncomfortable. In this match, he would probably explode with all his strength, determined to kill himself. However, he was also determined to win this match. Winning would get him 3,200 points, and the total points for this mission would reach 6,300 points. Adding the points he had obtained before, it would be enough for him to upgrade his permissions to level 3. Lin Moyu remembered that when he was evaluated for potential, he was helpless against the Super God 7th Order puppet. At that time, he was Super God 1st Order, and now he had reached Super God 3rd Order. His combat power had greatly increased, and he was fully capable of fighting against Super God 8th Order. Since that's the case, then let's go all out. There were less than 30 seconds left before the start of the match. Zhuangbi suddenly said, "This time, I'm going to go all out. Super God 8th Order, I can use several of my spells now." Lin Moyu nodded, "I will also go all out." Zhuangbi frowned, "You weren't going all out before." Lin Moyu shook his head, "No." Hearing Lin Moyu's honest answer, Zhuangbi almost spat out a mouthful of blood. It had already become like this, and it wasn't even going all out. What are you trying to do? Chapter 925, The Humble and Sincere Lin Moyu. Zhuangbi didn't want to talk to Lin Moyu anymore. As soon as the countdown ended, Zhuangbi's whole body burst into brilliant light. The 8 directions shield armor surrounded his whole body, and the long sword in his hand turned into a rain of swords, densely packed and falling towards Lin Moyu. At the same time, he had another long spear in his hand. The aura on this long spear was stronger than the sharp sword. "Spear like lightning," Zhuangbi shouted loudly, and the long spear turned into golden lightning, shooting towards Lin Moyu. The long spear turned into electricity, and even the rain of swords turned into lightning, turning into countless thunderbolts, striking towards Lin Moyu. Lightning Law. Lin Moyu recognized this law at a glance. It was an elemental law, so there was nothing to be afraid of. However, this law seemed to be a little different, stronger than ordinary lightning law. The big shots on the platform showed satisfied expressions. "It's the Destruction Thunder Spear of the Zhuang family from Vermilion Bird Star System 10. The little guy is using it very well. It's a pity that this law can only exert its full power at the true God level. Driving it with the strength of Super God 8th Order is still a bit lacking. Although it's lacking, it's enough to use. I'm afraid that no one in the Super God Order can stop it." Zhuangbi was very confident in his own spells. After stabbing out with his spear, his whole person also rushed towards Lin Moyu with the sky full of lightning. But in the next instant, he stopped, his eyes full of disbelief. As far as his eyes could see, it was full of skeletons. Skeleton divine generals and death dragon knights occupied the arena completely. The sky and the ground were full of skeletons, at least tens of thousands of them, surrounding Zhuangbi. Only then did Zhuangbi know that Lin Moyu was really honest and didn't exaggerate at all. He really didn't use his full strength. Just now, he only used one skeleton divine general and one death dragon knight. Unlike now, his thunder and lightning landed on the skeletons, causing a lot of damage to them. It can hurt them. A glimmer of hope just rose in Zhuangbi's heart, but it was immediately and ruthlessly extinguished. The skeletons shone brightly, and all the slight damage they had just received was healed. He then noticed that there were some strangely shaped summons beside Lin Moyu. They held huge staffs and constantly cast spells, healing the injuries on the skeletons. The corners of Zhuangbi's mouth twitched. This is a whole set. Now, let alone killing Lin Moyu, he couldn't even rush over. The skeletons moved slightly, blocking his vision. Now he couldn't even see them. In the next second, the skeletons began to attack. The overwhelming attacks drowned Zhuangbi. The people on the platform were shocked. Even with their knowledge, they had never seen such a scene. From this moment on, Lin Moyu's name was deeply rooted in their memories. There are really too many summons. What is the background of this little guy? I've never seen him before. The information is hidden, I can't see it. It seems that another remarkable figure is about to appear in our human race. Everyone sighed, knowing that the overall situation had been decided. Zhuangbi was still desperately resisting. The combat power of Super God 8th Order was indeed a qualitative improvement compared to Super God 7th Order. At Super God 7th Order, one skeleton divine general and one death dragon knight were enough to kill Zhuangbi. But now, with tens of thousands of skeleton gods and death dragon knights joining forces to bombard him, Zhuangbi could still hold on for a while and even counterattack. But that was all he could do. After holding on for nearly 20 minutes, Zhuang Bai finally exhausted his strength and was defeated. 6th challenge victory. The 7th challenge will begin in 3 minutes, please wait. Current accumulated reward. 6,300 points. Lin Mo was so excited when he saw the point reward that he clenched his fists a few times. 6,300 points, his total points have exceeded 10,000. When the mission ends, his permissions can be upgraded to level 3. Super God level 3 permissions, it will probably shock a lot of people. When I was Super God level 1, I got level 2 permissions, which was already incomprehensible to many people. Now it's probably the same. The next match will be against Zhuang Bai at Super God level 9. Super God level 9 is another leap compared to level 8. The key is that this leap will exceed the attack limit of the Undead Legion. Lin Mo will have no way to deal with Zhuang Bai. But similarly, it will be difficult for Zhuang Bai to deal with him. Super God level attacks can be completely ignored. Then let's grind, I won't admit defeat anyway. There is no time limit for the challenge, until one side loses. This is different from the potential evaluation. Moreover, Zhuang Bai's strength has a limit, and he has all the advantages in this regard. Lin Mo planned to fight a war of attrition with Zhuang Bai, until Zhuang Bai's strength was completely exhausted. Zhu Tian watched Lin Mo's performance, his eyes full of satisfaction. Lin Mo was even better than he thought. At the same time, he could see that Lin Mo was almost at his limit. He guessed that the next match would be very difficult. Looking at this kid's eyes, he should already have an idea. I wonder how he will respond. Zhuang Bai returned with the aura of Super God level 9. This time, his face was even more ugly than before. That look in his eyes made him seem like he wanted to eat someone. The rise and fall of his chest was also extremely violent, enough to see that Zhuang Bai's mood was very bad at this time. Lin Mo was a little embarrassed, anyone would feel uncomfortable after failing continuously. I 1/2 Senior Zhuang, are you okay? Zhuang Bai snorted, you tell me if I'm okay. Lin Mo smiled slightly, Senior Zhuang, your strength should be more than true God, right? How do you know? Zhuang Bai looked strange. The two sides were separated by an unknown number of light years. In the Human Emperor network, it was impossible for Lin Mo to see his information. Lin Mo smiled and said, I guessed. Lin Mo really had some guesswork in it, but more of it was judgment. Zhuang Bai said that he lived in star 10-1. That is a high-level star system, and the strength of the people inside is not weak. Super God level is nothing in it, and true God can only be ordinary. To be able to live there and be selected by the Human Emperor network is a challenger. His own strength will definitely not be weak. Plus Zhuang Bai's age, Lin Mo felt that Zhuang Bai was very likely to be a God King. If not a God King, he would at least be a true God level 9 figure. But listening to Zhuang Bai's current answer, his guess should be correct. Lin Mo bowed slightly to Zhuang Bai, if I go to the 10th star Li Jiaohao system in the future, I will come to thank Senior Zhuang. Thank me? What's there to thank me for? Zhuang Bai was even more puzzled. If it was an apology, he could understand. Thank you for what? Lin Mo replied, I have gained a lot from fighting Senior Zhuang continuously, and I have benefited a lot. Senior Zhuang let me understand where my combat power limit is, so that I don't become arrogant and complacent. So, I want to thank Senior Zhuang. Lin Mo said very sincerely, logically, and also very humble. Zhuang Bai was unconsciously drawn in, and his mood suddenly improved a lot, and the depression of repeated defeats was swept away. It's okay, it's my duty to guide the younger generation. Zhuang is not like that Chu, who is so narrow-minded. Zhuang Bai patted his chest and said generously. Lin Mo breathed a sigh of relief, this should be the last match. To tell you the truth, Senior Zhuang, my defense is very strong, and basically no one below true God can hurt me. So this match, chapter 926, can you still revive? I'm not doing it. After being fudged by Lin Mo, Zhuang Bai was in a great mood. I can also see that Lin Mo is almost at his limit. This match should be the last battle between you and me. Zhuang will not hold back, and will definitely go all out. Lin Shidi doesn't need to call me senior all the time, I recognize you as a friend. Lin Mo smiled slightly, thank you, senior brother Zhuang. In this battle, I will also go all out. If there is any disrespect, please don't blame me, senior brother Zhuang. Lin Mo's purpose has been achieved at this time. He didn't want to make an enemy of Zhuang Bai, so he said a few words as comfort. It doesn't hurt to be a little humble, but it can also gain a friendship. Zhuang Bai is not a bad person, but his emotions fluctuated a little after repeated failures. It's better to have one more friend than one more enemy. Some things are not good for you, so there is no need to do them. At least Zhuang Bai was well comforted by himself. Lin Mo felt that although the people in the great world lived a lot, they were not complicated. The people he has accepted so far are all good people. The unity of the human race is not just talk, it is really done. This feeling makes Lin Mo feel very comfortable. The countdown ended, and the battle started again. The Undead Legion, composed of tens of thousands of skeleton gods and death dragon knights, surrounded Zhuang Bai again, surrounding him in an unknown number of layers. Zhuang Bai, as he said, would go all out and would not hold back. Zhuang Bai unleashed the most powerful force at the super god level. Lightning roared on the arena. Facing the massive Undead Legion, Zhuang Bai no longer attacked them all at once. He began to concentrate his strength to break them one by one. Super God level 9, 10% of the law control, the power of the law suddenly reached a new level. It is much stronger than Super God level 8. When the power was concentrated, a skeleton god general was instantly killed. Zhuang Bai's face showed joy. If he could kill one, he could kill the second one. The law gathered into a long spear in his hand, and each blow carried terrifying power, and began to sweep wildly. Lin Mo remained still, watching without making any unnecessary movements. It was within his expectations that Zhuang Bai could defeat the skeleton god generals. The question was how many he could defeat, considering each skeleton god general could be resurrected 5 times. If he summoned the undead lich as well, they could be resurrected 6 times. The stage only held 10,000 skeleton god generals and death dragon knights. Compared to his total forces, that was a mere fraction. Even if he let Zhuang Bai kill them without resistance, it would take him days and nights. Moreover, he could replenish them, and the replenishment speed wasn't slow either. From the start of the battle, Lin Mo was already in an invincible position. That's why he said what he did earlier, telling Zhuang Bai not to worry. This match would be grueling. After Zhuang Bai continuously struck down dozens of skeletons, the important figures on the platform revealed smiles. It seems Zhuang Bai will win this round. Lin Mo's skeletons are indeed strong, but after all, his strength is limited. There's a huge difference between Transcendent God Stage 3 and Stage 9. Indeed, the power of spells has its limits, always depending on the user's strength level. Transcendent God Stage 3, able to fight like this against Transcendent God Stage 9, is already a top genius. Lin Mo can be proud. More than a top genius, in my memory, such a person has never appeared. Although these important figures now believed Lin Mo would lose, they still maintained a positive attitude towards Lin Mo. Each of them acknowledged that Lin Mo was a top genius. Zhu Tian listened to their discussion, a hint of disdain in his eyes. A bunch of old fogies stuck in their ways, wasting so many years. Will Lin Mo lose this battle? As the domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star region, he had not only lived long but also seen too many people and things. He saw confidence in Lin Mo's eyes. Therefore, he judged that Lin Mo would not lose this match. Although the current situation was not good, Lin Mo was clearly very confident in himself. The truth was indeed so. It was impossible for Lin Mo to lose. Those seemingly killed skeleton god generals and death dragon knights were all collected by Lin Mo. Then, he replaced their positions with new skeletons. Once the 3 minutes passed and the undead summons spell cooled down, he would regain 5 resurrection opportunities. He wouldn't even need to summon new undead legions, the existing ones alone were impossible for Zhuang Bai to kill completely. Zhuang Bai seemed to realize this. He had been killing for half a day, but the skeletons didn't seem to decrease. They neither increased nor decreased, and the corpses he had killed earlier had disappeared. This made Zhuang Bai feel that something was wrong. Junior brother Lin, are your skeletons inexhaustible? Lin Mo didn't hide it. They aren't inexhaustible, but there are too many of them. Zhuang Bai asked, tell me a number, so I can give up. Lin Mo said, over 400,000. Zhuang Bai's spear trembled in his hand, almost falling to the ground. Over 400,000, he would have to kill until the year of the monkey. But even with over 400,000, as long as he persisted, he could kill them all eventually. Give up now, he was unwilling, and continued to ask, what about those I killed earlier? Lin Mo still didn't hide it. They have all been resurrected. They can be resurrected. Yes, they can be resurrected. I'm not doing this anymore. Zhuangbai roared angrily, and suddenly sat down, refusing to fight. The 8 shields formed by the 8 directions armor firmly protected him. Protecting him from soul to body, incredibly securely. No matter how the skeleton god generals attacked, it was all in vain. Moreover, in this state, his consumption was very low, and he could maintain it for a long time. I'm not fighting anymore, I'm too tired, Zhuangbai shouted loudly. Lin Mo had long expected this situation. Senior brother Zhuang, how about we call it a draw? Zhuangbai said, of course, it's a draw. I can't kill you, and you don't seem to be able to kill me either. Lin Mo nodded, but how do we arrange it? Zhuangbai waved his hand. Leave it to me, I'm good at this. Saying this, he closed his eyes, seeming to communicate with the Human Emperor Network. Half a minute later, a prompt came from the Human Emperor Network. Your challenger has initiated a draw request, do you agree? Lin Mo agreed without thinking. In this situation, continuing for a few days or even months wouldn't determine a winner. After agreeing, a new message popped up from the Human Emperor Network. With both parties' agreement, the 7th battle ends in a draw. Your continuous challenge mission has ended. Total reward obtained, 6,300 points. Your record in the Human Emperor arena will be saved. We hope you can always remain undefeated. You will leave in 1 minute. Welcome to visit the Human Emperor arena again. Lin Mo breathed a long sigh of relief, put away all the undead, and bowed to Zhuangbai to express his gratitude. Thank you for your guidance, senior brother Zhuang. Zhuangbai waved his hand. What guidance or no guidance, junior brother Lin is a true genius. If you have time in the future, be sure to come to Vermilion Bird 10 to 1 star. I'm from the Zhuang family, you can find me by asking around. I will definitely go. Chapter 927, Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea, Nether Spring Emerald Water. Leaving the Human Emperor arena. Looking at the bustling crowd around him, Lin Mo checked his information. Age, 28. Level, Transcendent God Stage 3. Soul, 3rd grade peak. Potential evaluation, Legendary. Highest authority, Level 3. Comprehensive strength, Transcendent God Stage 9. Available points, 18,068, 10 to 850. Mastered laws, Law of Death, Law of Life. Human Emperor Arena, 7 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, win rate 100%. His personal information had changed. Some information in the Human Emperor Network had been updated, and his improvements were recorded in it. Especially the emergency mission to Star 105-3, where he extensively used the life aspect of the Undying Law, which the Human Emperor Network recognized as the Law of Life. Lin Mo realized that the Human Emperor Network also had its limitations. His Undying Law was misidentified, and his talents were not fully recognized. At least in the Human Emperor Network, his comprehensive rebirth talent could not be utilized. Because the Human Emperor Network does not recognize it. Leaving the Human Emperor Network, he returned to the mission room. Lin Mo pondered his gains this time while checking the changes brought about by the level 3 permissions. In the starry sky, on a huge star, Nightwind God Venerable's small boat was docked. Nightwind God Venerable was drinking tea on the boat, his gaze falling on the star. On the star, Gu Qingshan was doing a mission. Nightwind God Venerable loved his disciple deeply. Although he couldn't do the mission for her, he could guard her and ensure her safety. Suddenly, he retracted his gaze and looked forward. The space ahead twisted, and a space-time channel appeared. Zhu Tian stepped out of the space-time channel, and the next step brought him before Nightwind God Venerable. Nightwind God Venerable slightly cupped his hands. Domain Lord, what brings you here? Zhu Tian laughed. I've come to ask you for a cup of tea. Domain Lord is joking. With your mouth, how could you fancy this old man's pour? Nightwind God Venerable hadn't finished speaking when he fixed his gaze on Zhu Tian's hand. Zhu Tian was holding a transparent jade bottle in his hand. Inside the jade bottle, 10 pieces of cyan green tea leaves were lying quietly. Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea. Nightwind God Venerable's voice trembled slightly. Zhu Tian laughed. That's right. I brought the tea leaves myself. Will you drink it or not? Only a fool wouldn't drink it. Nightwind God Venerable waved his hand, and the tea set was brand new. Then, Nightwind God Venerable carefully took out a jade gourd. The jade gourd was also transparent, filled with water that was a faint green, shimmering with emerald luster. The Soul Race's Nether Spring Emerald Water. I knew it. This old fellow must have hidden something good. Zhu Tian laughed loudly, acting as if he had seen through him long ago. Night Wind God Venerable chuckled, I obtained some by chance. I've been collecting it for thousands of years, always regretting that I didn't have tea worthy of it. Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea and Nether Spring Emerald Water complement each other perfectly. Zhu Tian directly threw the tea leaves to Night Wind God Venerable. Night Wind God Venerable used the power of law to drive the flames, first heating the tea set, then pouring in the Nether Spring Emerald Water. The temperature of the Nether Spring Emerald Water was extremely low, emitting a chill. If he didn't use the fire of law, he wouldn't be able to boil it at all. After Night Wind God Venerable boiled the water, he carefully took out a piece of Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea and put it in. As soon as the two came into contact, an astonishing tea fragrance immediately permeated the starry sky. In the starry sky, a huge tea tree seemed to appear, standing tall and reaching the sky, obscuring the sun, moon, and stars, dazzling and eye-catching. Night Wind God Venerable's eyes were filled with longing. Azure Sky Enlightenment Tree, an ancient divine tree. It's a pity I have no chance to obtain it. Zhu Tian laughed, what? You still want to compete with the city lord for the divine tree? Night Wind God Venerable immediately shook his head, this old man hasn't lived enough yet. Saying that, he wanted to return the Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea to Zhu Tian, but his eyes were full of reluctance. Zhu Tian waved his hand, no need to return it. I'm giving it to you. Ah, Night Wind God Venerable's hand trembled, this isn't good, it's too precious. That's what he said, but the next second, he had already put away the Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea and had no intention of taking it out again. Zhu Tian knew his old friend too well and didn't mind at all, I want to ask you something. Night Wind God Venerable carefully poured tea for the two of them, afraid of spilling a drop, drink tea first, whatever it is, ask slowly later. Zhu Tian nodded, all right. He casually took a sip, Nether Spring Emerald Water paired with this Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea is indeed different. It's more than just different. Nether Spring Emerald Water can increase the effect of Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea by at least 30%. Night Wind God Venerable drank the hot tea in one gulp, shivered all over, and lowered his eyes. His whole body entered a special state, and his body was also filled with laws. God Venerable level laws rumbled in the starry sky. The nearby starry sky shook non-stop, and even the stars he was on were shaking violently, as if they were about to collapse at any moment. AAA 0 request fresh flowers 0 AAAAAAAA. Zhu Tian waved a law and quickly stabilized the starry sky. He naturally knew that Night Wind God Venerable had entered a state of enlightenment because of the enlightenment tea. This moment was very important to him, and Zhu Tian naturally wouldn't disturb him. The first time drinking enlightenment tea, it would almost always be like this. He used to be no exception. But now that he drank it more often and got used to it, the effect became weaker. Zhu Tian slowly sipped his tea, not in a hurry. A beautiful figure flew from under the star and entered the flying boat. Ji Yu Qingshan was about to speak when Zhu Tian's voice came to her ears, silence, don't disturb your master. When Ji Yu Qingshan saw Zhu Tian and then looked at Night Wind God Venerable's appearance, she could probably guess what was happening. She bowed to Zhu Tian, Qingshan greets Domain Lord. Zhu Tian hummed, originally, I had something to ask your master, but now it's the same if I ask you. ... 0. You were Lin Mo's guide, right? Ji Yu Qingshan nodded, that's right, it was indeed Qingshan and master who brought Lin Shidi over that day. Zhu Tian asked, tell me everything you know about Lin Mo, the more detailed the better. Faced with Zhu Tian's inquiry, Ji Yu Qingshan didn't dare to hide anything and immediately told the entire process in detail. From her first encounter with Lin Mo, to the later reception, taking Lin Mo for the potential assessment, and Night Wind God Venerable's evaluation of Lin Mo. Ji Yu Qingshan spoke very carefully, and Zhu Tian listened very carefully. So, the small world that Lin Mo came from is a bit strange. Ji Yu Qingshan nodded, it is a bit strange. Master should know something, but he didn't tell me. That day, Master asked me to take a piece of the world core from the small world, but he told me that it didn't matter if I could get it or not. I entered the small world, but I didn't really enter the small world. Entered the small world, but didn't really enter the small world. This statement made Zhu Tian a little curious. However, that's all Ji Yu Qingshan knew. The specifics may need to be asked of Night Wind God Venerable. However, judging from all of Lin Mo's performance after coming to the Great World, this is indeed an extremely calm genius. Ji Yu Qingshan asked cautiously, did something happen to Lin Shidi? Zhu Tian shook his head, nothing happened, he's doing very well. Your master is about to wake up too. I'll chat with your master, you make us some tea. Ji Yu Qingshan was flattered and nodded in agreement repeatedly. Chapter 928 The Past of the Small World. Night Wind God Venerable's aura trembled violently, and he woke up from enlightenment. Old fellow, how do you feel? Zhu Tian's face was full of smiles, he naturally knew the effect of Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea. Night Wind God Venerable's eyes gradually became clear, better than 100 years of hard work for this old man. The time before and after enlightenment was only 10 minutes, but it could be better than Night Wind God Venerable's 100 years of hard work. The effect of this tea was indeed amazing. Zhu Tian smiled, only the first cup is a bit useful, the effect will get worse and worse later. Night Wind God Venerable snorted, you are a full man who doesn't know the hunger of a starving man, tell me, what do you want from me? Zhu Tian smiled, I already know most of the things from Qingshan, there are still some questions. Night Wind God Venerable agreed very readily, for the sake of Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea, I will tell you everything I know. Zhu Tian said with a smile, some things about the small world that Lin Mo came from. Night Wind God Venerable's face changed drastically. Seeing this, Zhu Tian realized that something was not right. Night Wind God's expression changed several times, and he said faintly, Qingshan, pour tea. Ji Yu Qingshan immediately poured tea for the two of them very obediently. Then, Night Wind God tapped the table lightly, and a wisp of law gently spread out, enveloping him and Zhu Tian. No one could hear what they were saying, not even Ji Yu Qingshan, who was close at hand. Zhu Tian realized the seriousness of the matter, and his expression also became solemn. For Night Wind God to treat it so solemnly, this matter was likely extraordinary. Night Wind God gently picked up the teacup, but his voice was completely different from his hand, slightly deep. Do you know that about 4,000 years ago, people from a small world came out? Zhu Tian's eyes showed a hint of confusion. Zhu territory was vast, with countless small worlds. People from small worlds came out every day, so how could he remember? But what Night Wind God brought up must not be an ordinary phenomenon. Zhu Tian suddenly thought of something, are you talking about that time? Night Wind God nodded, that's right. At that time, almost everyone in that small world came out and entered the great world. Logically speaking, when living beings leave, the small world either breaks out of its shell, accepts the baptism of the great world, and transforms into stars, becoming a star system. Or it falls into dead silence, dying in the womb. Living beings are the foundation of a small world. Once the living beings within disappear, whether they leave home or die out, this small world will face two endings. Either it breaks out of its cocoon and merges into the great world. However, it is hard to say what a small world without living beings will become after merging into the great world. Or it loses its vitality, dies in the womb, and doesn't even have the chance to break out of its cocoon. Zhu Tian had heard of that matter before. All the living beings in that small world came out, almost without exception. But for people of his level, this kind of thing was just a trivial matter, and he didn't continue to pay attention to it later. Night Wind God said, this small world has undergone a third change. It neither broke out of its cocoon nor died in the womb, but re-nurtured a second wave of life. Zhu Tian frowned, how could this be? This kind of development was completely different from what he knew, and it violated the rules of the great world's operation. Night Wind God said, when those people came out, they forcibly took away the true spirit imprint from the small world's origin, which severely damaged the foundation of the small world. A small world with a damaged origin, and having lost all its living beings, should have died in the womb. But it stubbornly re-nurtured a second wave of life, don't you think it's strange? Unless, Zhu Tian thought of a possibility and couldn't help but shudder. Night Wind God looked at Zhu Tian's surprised appearance, you guessed right, an invincible expert took action. Hiss. Zhu Tian gasped, invincible experts don't take action easily. Is it worth it for this small world? Night Wind God said, regarding this matter, I also did some investigation. There is something in this small world. Something. What is it? Zhu Tian asked quickly. The thing that could make an invincible expert take action would definitely not be ordinary, it should be very important. Night Wind God did not answer directly, and continued to say to himself, later, I discovered another thing. Not just one invincible expert participated in this matter. At least 3, maybe even more. After knowing these things, I didn't dare to continue investigating. I was afraid that further investigation would anger the invincible experts and bring about a fatal disaster. The hand holding the teacup trembled slightly. Invincible experts, what kind of existence were they? Even he could only look up to them. Why would a small world attract so many invincible experts? It was puzzling. No wonder Nightwind God didn't dare to continue investigating. If it were him, he wouldn't dare either. Nightwind God looked at Zhu Tian's expression and smiled slightly. I stopped the investigation, and I also didn't dare to continue peeking at that small world. I could only take a look occasionally. About 2,000 years ago, I discovered some interesting things. The desolate beast race and the insect race both sent people into that small world. Later, the demon race, a branch of the elemental dragons in the dragon race, and the blood race also entered. In addition, there is a starry sky giant tree that seems to have also sent a wisp of its soul to explore. Zhu Tian asked strangely, how could they get in? Nightwind God laughed, it seems you are really old, you forgot what I just told you. 4,000 years ago, after that group of people left the small world, they took away the true spirit imprint, severely damaging the small world's origin. Moreover, their forced departure opened up some incomplete space-time channels between the small world and the great world. This also gave those guys an opportunity to take advantage of. Under Nightwind God's narration, Zhu Tian understood. He knew why this old guy would go to pick up Lin Mo. It wasn't Ji Yu Qingshan who asked him to, but he wanted to go himself. Otherwise, it was unlikely that a dignified god would personally pick up a little guy who had just come out of a small world. Zhu Tian said in a deep voice, in this way, Lin Mo was actually under the gaze of the invincible experts long ago. Nightwind God shook his head, what level of existence are they, how could they care about a little guy? Although Lin Mo's talent is extremely good, it is estimated that he is not worthy of their attention. But you, why did you suddenly come to ask me about Lin Mo's matter? Zhu Tian said, Lin Mo's talent may exceed your imagination, I plan to recommend him to the city lord. Nightwind God was shocked, you want Lin Mo to become the city lord's disciple. Zhu Tian nodded, that's what I'm thinking. Nightwind God pondered for a moment, you can give it a try. The fact that the divine city lord wanted to accept a disciple was not a secret among the human race's high-level officials. Many people were looking for geniuses and wanted to recommend them to the city lord. Lin Mo came from a small world, had a clean background, and was extremely talented. He was indeed a good candidate. But whether he can succeed in the end depends on his own good fortune. Chapter 929, If I ever become successful, I'll give my brother a hand. Zhu Tian obtained all the information about Lin Mo from Nightwind God. Then he came to the small world where Lin Mo was born and took a look from afar. Outside the small world, he saw experts from various races. Demons, blood race, and shadow race were all there. The area of this small world was already on the border of the human territory. It was a disputed area that did not completely belong to the human race. Behind these races, there seemed to be invincible experts standing. This small world seemed to have become a plaything in the hands of invincible experts. Is it really for a treasure? Zhu Tian had doubts in his heart, but he knew that it was not a level he could inquire about. He didn't dare to stay long, he just took a look from afar and left. On Nightwind God's flying boat, after Zhu Tian left, Nightwind God said to Ji Yu Qingshan, Qingshan, have some tea. Ji Yu Qingshan did not feel unhappy because of what happened just now, and sat obediently in front of Nightwind God. She was very clear that some things were not something she could come into contact with. So she didn't ask a word. Master, what kind of tea is this? Why is there only one tea leaf? And you even used nether spring emerald water. Ji Yu Qingshan was very curious just now. This tea leaf must be extremely precious, otherwise Nightwind God would not have taken out the nether spring emerald water that he had treasured for many years. Nightwind God said, this is Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea. Ji Yu Qingshan exclaimed, is it the legendary Azure Sky Enlightenment Tea that is produced by the Azure Sky Divine Tree, with 1,000 leaves every 1,000 years? Nightwind God nodded, that's right, this time that old guy Zhu Tian can be considered to have paid a heavy price. Drink it, it's time for you to break through to true God. Enlightenment tea can help people comprehend the great Tao, which has infinite benefits for Ji Yu Qingshan's cultivation. She was originally stuck at the peak of transcendent God, only one step away from true God. With this cup of tea, she would definitely be able to break through. After Ji Yu Qingshan finished drinking, she almost instantly entered a state of enlightenment. After a few breaths, the laws on her body surged, and she was already breaking through towards true God. Night Wind God was very satisfied, and his gaze fell on the distant starry sky. Lin Mo, he is indeed an interesting little guy. Lin Mo's permission has been raised to level 3. Third level permissions offer significant changes compared to second level permissions. First, the activity area is much larger. The activity range for second level permissions is a spherical area with a diameter of 20 light years. This range is calculated with the life star registered by Lin Mo as the center point. For third level permissions, the activity range becomes a spherical area with a diameter of 200 light years. The diameter has increased tenfold, and the activity range has expanded hundreds of times. Within a diameter of 200 light years, there are at least dozens of life star systems and thousands of non-life star systems. Additionally, third-level permissions allow you to accept third-level tasks. The rewards for third-level tasks are more points, but the requirements are higher, and the difficulty is correspondingly greater. Generally speaking, third-level permissions are only attainable by those at the 6th level of the Transcendent God realm. Most cultivators possess third-level permissions from the 6th level of the Transcendent God realm to the 3rd level of True God realm. Lin Mo left the mission room and saw Ren Chang waiting at the door as soon as he opened it. Ren Chang was clearly waiting specifically for Lin Mo, and he exaggeratedly exclaimed as soon as he saw him, "You're finally out." Lin Mo was amused by his exaggerated expression and couldn't help but reveal a smile. "What's wrong?" Ren Chang looked left and right, then pulled Lin Mo away. Leaving the mission center, Ren Chang found a secluded place. "Good heavens, do you know what you've done?" Lin Mo felt strange. "I didn't do anything, I just did a ring challenge mission." Ren Chang lowered his voice. "Do you know that you've won 7 consecutive matches? The 7th match should have been a draw." Ren Chang whispered, "Whether it's 7 matches or 6, you fought up to 7 matches anyway, and you haven't lost, right?" Lin Mo nodded. That was indeed the case. Ren Chang said, "I didn't expect you to win consecutively before, so I didn't tell you." Continuous challenge missions have another purpose, which is to select geniuses who are good at fighting. If you can win 4 consecutive matches, which means you can defeat opponents more than 3 levels above you, you belong to this category of genius. Later, many people came over. You saw them. After Ren Chang's explanation, Lin Mo finally understood why he had such a reaction. The people who came later all looked quite old, and some even had white hair. It turned out that these people were all big shots. Basically, they were all star lords of a certain star system. Even if they weren't God Emperors, they were at the peak of God Kings. Especially the last one who appeared was actually the domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory. Such a figure actually came to watch him fight in the ring. No wonder Zhuangbai said less and less later, "It's normal to think about it, he wouldn't dare to spout nonsense while being watched by so many big shots." Ren Chang murmured, "Junior brother Lin, I reckon you've probably caught the eye of those big shots. Don't forget about me when you make it big." Lin Mo looked at Ren Chang strangely. "Doesn't the great world operate on strength?" Ren Chang slapped his thigh. "That's true, but sometimes, you have to talk about relationships. For example, if I want a certain material, this material can only be obtained with 4th level permissions. People without connections can only take their time, but people with connections can ask around and get it by paying a price. So that's how it is." Lin Mo smiled dumbly. He thought that the starry sky was vast, and the distance was far, so some human relationships would become scarce. Everything is based on strength. The rules of the great world seem to be like this as well. Unexpectedly, there are still human relationships, so there's no difference from the small world. After all, they are all humans, which is normal. Looking at Ren Chang's eager look, Lin Mo naturally wouldn't refuse. "Sure enough, you're a brother, wait." Ren Chang's excitement hadn't passed when he suddenly froze, motionless. His teeth chattered, making a crisp sound, his pupils dilated, and his eyes widened like copper plates. Following his gaze, Lin Mo saw Zhu Tian. The domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory actually came here in person. For people at the level of domain lord, low-level life star systems are barren places where nothing grows. Ren Chang, who was usually very talkative, became stuttering at this time. Lord Domain Lord, you." Zhu Tian glanced at him indifferently. "You leave first." "Yes, your lordship." Ren Chang didn't dare to fart and left immediately, disappearing in an instant. Zhu Tian looked at Lin Mo, his whole person exuding a faint majesty, and lightning seemed to flash in his eyes. Aren't you afraid of me? Lin Mo shook his head. I haven't done anything wrong, there's nothing to be afraid of. Zhu Tian nodded. Let's talk. Lin Mo hummed, I'll listen to the domain lord's instructions. Zhu Tian waved his hand, and the two disappeared from the life star. Chapter 930. I want to find a master for you. Lin Mo experienced what true teleportation was. In just 1 second, he left life star 98 to 1 and appeared directly in the starry sky. Underneath him was a large bird, surrounded by raging flames. It looked somewhat similar to the blue Luan he had seen in the small world. But he knew it was definitely not the blue Luan. Just the size alone was hundreds of thousands of miles apart. This vermilion bird had a wingspan of over 10,000 meters and a body of at least 5,000 meters. Such a huge bird could not appear in the small world. Zhu Tian always paid attention to Lin Mo, and saw a hint of surprise in his eyes. Do you know what this is? Lin Mo said uncertainly, Vermilion bird. He was in the Vermilion bird star territory, and in front of him was the domain lord of the Vermilion bird star territory. In the myths and legends of his previous life, the vermilion bird was a firebird. Zhu Tian glanced at Lin Mo. How did you know? Lin Mo thought for a moment. This junior guessed. Zhu Tian laughed, knowing that Lin Mo was not lying, and indeed guessed. But it was not surprising to be able to guess. It could only show that Lin Mo not only knew how to fight, but also had a flexible mind. He took Lin Mo to land on the vermilion bird's back, and the flames automatically dispersed, leaving a space. The vermilion bird's back was not as hot as imagined, only a little warm. Lin Mo could not tell whether the vermilion bird under his feet was a living being or a puppet. He only knew that it was very strong, so strong that it could kill him at any time. Zhu Tian waved his hand, and the flames dispersed, revealing a tea table. The red tea table was as smooth as jade, and there were flames rolling inside. The law of fire was very clear, almost about to materialize. Lin Mo only glanced at it and determined that this tea table was of extraordinary value. Zhu Tian came to the table and sat down, stretched out his hand, and a set of tea sets appeared. Lin Mo naturally went over to make tea for Zhu Tian. He often did this in the small world and was very familiar with it. Although he couldn't compare to some people who specialized in this, he wasn't an amateur either. Zhu Tian asked, Do you often drink tea? Lin Mo answered honestly, When I was in the small world, my teacher liked tea, and I often made tea. Zhu Tian smiled slightly. Can you tell me about your experiences in the small world? Lin Mo nodded. What aspects are you interested in knowing? Anything is fine. Let's start with how you began cultivating, Zhu Tian said, now resembling a kind elder eager to hear a story from a younger generation. While pouring tea for Zhu Tian, Lin Mo recounted some of his experiences in the small world. He didn't reveal everything. For example, he didn't mention Antares or his 4 beloved wives in the coffin of slumber. He mainly focused on cultivation-related matters. Zhu Tian's face showed surprise. Are you saying that in your small world, people can change their class after adulthood, thereby gaining corresponding professions and skills? And these skills can be converted into spells after reaching level 90? Lin Mo nodded. More or less, but not all skills can be converted into spells. Zhu Tian gently tapped the tea table, making a dong-dong sound. His eyes narrowed slightly, as if pondering something, and his voice floated out of his mouth. The rules have changed. Lin Mo's ears twitched slightly. He heard Zhu Tian's words but didn't understand what they meant. Zhu Tian didn't continue the topic. Do you know why I came to find you? Lin Mo shook his head. I don't know. Zhu Tian chuckled. I want to find a master for you. Ah, Lin Mo was taken aback. Find a master? He had only arrived in the great world recently and didn't know anyone. How could Zhu Tian, the esteemed domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory, a peak god sovereign existence, think of finding a master for him? Moreover, judging from his tone, the master he was looking for was at least on par with him. In the great world, although everything depended on one's own efforts, having a master was much better than not having one. At least they could answer questions and provide guidance, and at least one wouldn't be left helpless when needing certain resources. Lin Mo remained calm, without any excitement. I wonder why the domain lord wants to find a master for this junior. Because you are excellent enough. The human race was thirsty for talent, and all kinds of rules were designed to cultivate and select talent. As long as one was excellent enough, they wouldn't be buried. But as far as Lin Mo knew, it shouldn't have happened that someone of the domain lord's level personally came to the door. Lin Mo asked, "This junior would like to ask, who does the domain lord want to recommend me to?" Zhu Tian smiled mysteriously, "I can't tell you yet. I can only say that there are many people who want to become his disciple, and the competition is very fierce. Although you are excellent, it's not like you are indispensable. Although the competition is fierce, once you succeed, the benefits are unimaginable." Zhu Tian painted a big cake for Lin Mo. He smiled, not afraid that Lin Mo wouldn't take the bait. Lin Mo indeed took the bait. "May I ask, domain lord, what should this junior do?" "It's very simple. First do tasks and increase your permissions." "To what level of permission?" "At least level 5. "At least level 5, in fact, a lot can be explained just from the permissions. The range of activities for level 3 permissions is 200 light years. Level 4 allows free movement within the entire Vermilion Bird Star territory. Once level 5 permissions are reached, one can freely travel in the 4 major star territories except for the central divine city." And Zhu Tian asked him to reach at least level 5 permissions. An idea suddenly popped into Lin Mo's head. The master Zhu Tian wanted to recommend came from Divine City. Lin Mo lowered his head and replied, "I one half this junior understands, this junior will work hard to improve permissions." Zhu Tian instructed again, "Also, starting from level 3, there will be a series of missions. If there is an opportunity, do this mission." Lin Mo hadn't specifically checked the tasks after reaching level 3 and didn't know what the series of missions was. However, he immediately responded, "This junior understands." Zhu Tian nodded, "Go back, if there is anything, you can contact me through the Human Emperor Network." "Yes, this junior will take his leave." Just as Lin Mo was about to leave, Zhu Tian stopped him again. "By the way, how many years did you say you cultivated in the small world?" "Li Hao's." Lin Mo said, "I started cultivating at the age of 18 after changing jobs, and it has been 10 years now." Zhu Tian's eyelids twitched, and he waved his hand, "I know, you can go." Lin Mo left, flying from the star towards star 98-1. The whole person passed through the thick atmosphere and disappeared from sight. Zhu Tian slammed the tea table, his voice filled with excitement. "He started cultivating at the age of 18, and it's only been 10 years. I underestimated him. He had previously seen Lin Mo's information and was only 28 years old. But I didn't know how old I started practicing. There is a big difference between starting at 10 years old and starting at 5 years old. I didn't expect Lin Mo to start cultivating at the age of 18, and it's only been 10 years. In just 10 years, he went from an ordinary person who had never cultivated to the 3rd level of the super god. And his combat power is so outstanding that it has completely exceeded Zhu Tian's imagination." Zhu Tian's eyes were full of excitement. "Lin Mo, he is determined to recommend it." Chapter 931. Curious like a cat, yet timid like a cat. Passing through the heavy atmosphere, he returned to the star. Lin Mo stopped at a height of 1,000 meters, enjoying the oncoming cold wind. What happened before was like a dream. If he hadn't looked up and vaguely seen the huge vermilion bird Firebird, Lin Mo would have really been afraid to believe it. The aloof domain lord of the Vermilion Bird Star territory would take the initiative to find him. It really surprised him, but perhaps he was used to dealing with Antares, and for Zhu Tian, he only felt that this was a remarkable senior expert. Unlike Ren Chang, who was so nervous that he couldn't even speak. How should it be, or how should it be? Lin Mo remembered the year he was 18 years old, when Bai Yiyuan came to his door not long after the exam. He didn't seem too nervous. Perhaps it was just his personality. Returning to the mission center, before he even entered, Ren Chang had already rushed out and pulled Lin Mo aside. "What did the domain lord say to you?" Ren Chang asked in a low voice. Lin Mo found it a little funny. This guy was really timid and curious. His eyes turned. "Have you heard the saying, curiosity killed the cat?" Ren Chang shook his head, indicating that he had never heard of it. Lin Mo smiled. "Do you really want to know?" Ren Chang shook his head again and again. I don't want to, don't tell me, just pretend I didn't ask." Watching Ren Chang leave as if fleeing for his life, Lin Mo couldn't help but find it funny. Really like a cat, both curious and timid. Returning to the mission center, he checked the missions. There were many more level 3 missions than level 2 and level 1, and the scope involved was also wider. Hundreds of missions were displayed in front of him. Whether it was difficulty or reward, it was much better than level 1 and 2. Level 1 missions were mainly for newcomers to do. The missions were low in difficulty, and the rewards were concentrated between 10 and 100 points. Generally, you only need to complete 10 or so relatively easy tasks to raise your permission level to level 2. The time spent is usually around 30 days. Level 2 tasks involve dealing with beings around the supergod stage 3 to 5 levels. This stage is for familiarizing yourself with the great world. The difficulty isn't too high, it's more about getting acquainted, and there's not much danger. Rewards are concentrated between 50 and 200 points. Sometimes you might encounter emergency tasks or special tasks, and if you can complete them, the rewards can be even higher. Most people need 6 months to a year to get through this stage. Initially, Lin Mo thought that advancing from Supergod Stage 3 to Supergod Stage 5 in half a year was a bit too fast. But now he understood that the Great World had things that the small worlds didn't. Various elixirs, various treasures, and the Enlightenment rooms he hadn't visited yet. The Enlightenment rooms were in the Human Emperor network, and Lin Mo hadn't had time to go there. Besides that, you could go to some special places to comprehend laws. Like the stellar essence fire he had seen before, which could help people quickly comprehend the fire laws. All sorts of convenient conditions that the small worlds didn't have. Lin Mo had originally prepared to spend a few months in level 2. While doing tasks, he could conveniently raise his level. As for elixirs, he hadn't considered them. Antares had warned him to try not to rely on elixirs. No invincible powerhouse was built up by elixirs. Lin Mo also kept this in mind. Now his permission level had been raised to level 3. Level 3 permission corresponded to beings between Supergod Stage 6 and True God Stage 3. The task difficulty was about the same. Some people didn't cultivate, only did tasks. They reached level 3 permission when their level was only Supergod Stage 3. But after reaching level 3 permission, they were dumbfounded. The permission level went up, and the task difficulty followed. Even the simplest level 3 task was difficult to complete without strength above Supergod Stage 5. Their development suddenly became extremely difficult, and they had to find ways to improve their strength, retracing the path others had already taken. The human race's permission tasks were a matching set of settings, and after so many years of verification, they had become a very suitable way for the human race to improve. In the early stages, following the tasks had become the default rule. But Lin Mo broke this rule again. He raised his permission level to level 3 with only Supergod Stage 3 strength. Moreover, he had only been in the Great World for 10 days. This speed of improvement was unprecedentedly fast in the Great World, and it broke many records. To raise to level 4 permission, you need 100,000 points. Level 3 tasks, rewards range from 500 to 5,000. If you do them quickly, 20 tasks can raise you to level 4 permission. But these 5,000 point tasks are not easy to do. Lin Mo flipped through the tasks. There were 5,000 point tasks, and quite a few. Most of them involved tasks in the real world, and they had requirements for cultivation level. After flipping through a dozen, the minimum requirement was True God Stage 1. And it was specifically noted that the danger was great, and it was best to enter at True God Stage 3. Even if Lin Mo was arrogant, he knew that his strength had not reached True God yet, and he would not be able to complete the task if he accepted it. What's more, there was also the Human Emperor Network, and the Human Emperor Network's evaluation of Lin Mo's strength was Supergod Stage 9. Lin Mo couldn't accept tasks that exceeded this requirement. Lin Mo could only settle for second best and check other tasks. Explore the Black Sky Secret Realm, search for Black Sky Stones, minimum requirement Supergod Stage 9, reward 2,000 points, medium danger. Clean up the Vermilion Bird 00077 non-life star system, minimum requirement Supergod Stage 8, reward 1,500 points, low danger. Enter the fragmented star belt of the Vermilion Bird 000081 non-life star system, eliminate the meteor beasts living in it, obtain meteor cores, minimum requirement Supergod Stage 7, reward 1,500 points. Note: medium danger. Level 3 tasks, if there is danger, the corresponding danger will be marked in the task. Danger is divided into low, medium, and high. If it is high danger, it is best to go if your strength exceeds the minimum requirement by 2 stages. If it is medium, it is best to exceed it by 1 stage. Only low danger is suitable for people of the same level to perform. Lin Mo also saw a type of task he had never seen before: team tasks. The task requires several people or dozens of people to complete together, and then rewards are obtained according to the contribution. But this kind of task often takes a long time, and it also takes time to form a team, and there is also cooperation and the like. Lin Mo thought about it. Although the rewards were rich, he still chose to give up. After some searching, Lin Mo chose a task. Clean up the Vermilion Bird 00077 non-life star system, minimum requirement Super God Stage 8, reward 1500 points, low danger. Super God Stage 8 can be accepted, and the danger is low, indicating that Super God Stage 8 can complete it, and he just meets the requirements. Chapter 932, accepted but can't do it, and will fail. Level 3 task. Clean up the Vermilion Bird 00077 non-life star system. In the Vermilion Bird 00077 non-life star system, a batch of special life forms has been born, and they need to be cleaned up, and the crystal cores of the life forms will be taken back as proof. Restrictions. No major damage to the star system is allowed. Completion conditions. At least 100 special life forms must be cleaned up within 10 days. Notes. The strength of the special life forms is Super God Stage 6 to Super God Stage 7, and the strength of their leader is Super God Stage 8. Special life forms have weak attack power and strong vitality. After accepting the task, the detailed information of the task is also displayed. Before accepting the task, you can only see a rough description. Detailed information must be known after accepting it. If you find that the task is impossible to complete at that time, it will be too late to regret it. The task cannot be cancelled, you can only wait for the time to pass, and then the task will fail. It is said that there will be penalties for task failure, but Lin Mo is not sure what the specific penalty is. This also leads to the fact that all tasks cannot be accepted randomly, and you must accept the ones that are suitable for you. Lin Mo believes that this is to make people understand trade-offs, so as not to mess around. After accepting the task, this task appeared in the list of tasks that he was currently performing. At the same time, a series of linked tasks also appeared in the task list. The linked task starts from level 3 and automatically appears in the task list, without the need to actively accept it. Everyone is the same and will receive this series of linked tasks. The linked task has been opened since it was received. Linked task 1 complete 10 level 3 tasks, and a comprehensive score will be given based on the completion of each task. Completing 10 level 3 tasks doesn't seem difficult. After all, you have to do it originally. If you want to improve your permissions, it is not enough to do 10 tasks. Dozens or hundreds may not be enough. The key lies in the back. A comprehensive score is given based on the completion of the task. In Zhu Tian's mouth, the linked task is very important. Although he didn't explicitly say it, Lin Mo could hear the clues in his tone. Ji Yu Qingshan also mentioned similar things. At that time, receiving himself was one of the linked tasks, and it seemed to be related to whether he could enter the God City. Entering the God City is the dream of every human cultivator, and Lin Mo is no exception. Having found the teleportation array, he heads to the Suzaku 00077 non-life star system. It's 53 light-years away, costing 5 points. Currently, Lin Mo's net worth is as high as 18,069 points, making him very generous, and a mere 5 points are not even worth considering. Remembering how distressed Ji Yu Qingshan looked when she spent 100 points, Lin Mo felt it was somewhat amusing. Mainly because he doesn't have any expenses. He doesn't buy materials, nor does he buy pills. That's why he has so many points on hand. If he were to buy some materials, the points would be used up quickly. The materials he has on hand are simply not enough. The speed of teleportation is fixed at 1 light-year per second, without the slightest deviation. After 53 seconds, Lin Mo has arrived at his destination. A huge teleportation array stands tall in the starry sky, moving with the star system, always maintaining a fixed distance from the star system. He hears lively sounds in his ears. Many cultivators are talking in the starry sky, exchanging experiences. This mission is aimed at a very wide range, involving dozens of surrounding life star systems. A large number of cultivators have come over after accepting this mission, and the area around the teleportation array has become very lively. Lin Mo saw many Transcendent God Realm Rank 8 cultivators, and some Transcendent God Realm Rank 9 cultivators. He didn't see a single true god. Most people are still willing to follow the prompts of the mission. Lin Mo, a Transcendent God Realm Rank 3 cultivator, appears very abrupt here. His appearance immediately attracted the attention of many people. How is it Transcendent God Realm Rank 3? Transcendent God Realm Rank 3 and already at level 3 per mission, it seems he's another fool who only knows how to do missions. Does he think level 3 missions are the same as level 2 missions? People like this haven't appeared for many years, right? This is really stupid. Even if you reach level 3 per mission, honestly cultivate first, raise your strength before doing missions. Now, you've accepted this mission, but you can't do it, and the result will be failure. A kind-hearted person came to Lin Mo. Brother Lin, did you accept the cleaning mission? The person in front of him is called Zhao Yong'an, with the strength of Transcendent God Realm Rank 9, and looks very kind. Lin Mo bowed slightly to him. Yes, I accepted the cleaning mission. Zhao Yong'an sighed. Brother Lin, do you know that if the mission cannot be completed, you will be punished? Lin Mo nodded. I've heard of it. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers. AAAAAAAAAAAA. Zhao Yong'an asked further, then why did you still accept it? Lin Mo smiled. Thank you for your concern, senior, this junior should be able to complete this mission. After Lin Mo finished speaking, he bowed to Zhao Yong'an again, and then flew towards the star system. After flying out a distance, he took out the god-slaying fortress and sped away like lightning. Zhao Yong'an sighed, what a pity. Old Zhao, why bother with this kind of person, let him go if he wants to die. That's right, an ignorant little guy, only Transcendent God Realm Rank 3, and wants to take on a Transcendent God Realm Rank 8 mission. Even if he has extraordinary strength and can challenge beyond his level, at most he can only challenge Transcendent God Realm Rank 4 or 5. I heard that every year there are ignorant people who come to die. Anyway, there are many people going, it's normal to die a few. ... 00. Zhao Yong'an said, I only hope that he can be clever and retreat when he knows it's difficult. There are many people doing missions in the star system. If Lin Mo is clever enough, he may be able to ask for help and save his life. The god-slaying fortress took Lin Mo and rushed into the star system. The number 00077 non-life star system is very large, larger than any star system Lin Mo has ever seen. A total of 28 large stars float in the star system, and they revolve around 2 stars respectively. The 2 stars revolve around each other. In addition, there are countless fragments of stars in the star system. I don't know how they broke. The entire star system gives Lin Mo a sense of oppression. I don't know what the special life forms in the star system are like. The mission didn't say, and Lin Mo didn't want to ask. Just like Zhao Yong'an just now, he didn't want to waste time explaining to Zhao Yong'an. The mission time is only 10 days. And according to his understanding of the mission, the faster he completes it, the better. Although the final points reward is the same, the evaluation may be different. Because there is a series of linked missions behind it. The first step of the linked missions is to complete 10 missions, and give a comprehensive evaluation based on his completion of the 10 missions. So Lin Mo didn't want to explain anything to Zhao Yong'an and completed the mission first. His eyes narrowed slightly, and the undead law rolled in his palm. Special life forms are also life. Lin Mo is very sensitive to the aura of life. Through the undead law, he quickly locked onto the first target. Chapter 933. If that's the case, then I won't be polite. Under Lin Mo's perception, the star system is full of life energy. Many of them are the life energy of the human race, and the rest are special life forms. The undead law flickered in his eyes as he looked around the starry sky. Different life auras can be clearly distinguished in Lin Mo's perception. Just like light spots of different colors, they are clear at a glance in the starry sky. Excluding the human race cultivators, he locked onto the nearest special life form. The distance is about 10,000 kilometers, on a star fragment with a diameter of no more than 100 meters. The wings of the undead vibrated, and soul power rolled and flew over. 10,000 kilometers is not far. On the scale of the great world's starry sky, it can be said to be close at hand. In just a moment, Lin Mo had arrived. He saw this special life form. It is like a layer of transparent film, wrapping the star fragment. 323. The star fragment is shrinking at a weak speed. It is devouring the star fragment. It exudes the aura of Transcendent God Realm Rank 6. According to the mission information, it should be the weakest special life form here. He tapped his finger lightly, and the detection technique landed on it. Starlight Mist Spirit. Level: Transcendent God. Characteristics: a special life form produced by the interweaving and collision of starlight laws. It has strong vitality and relatively weak attack power. Lin Mo's heart moved, and several skeleton divine generals appeared in front of him. Several huge sword energies crossed the starry sky, and the starlight mist spirit let out a squeak and was torn into pieces by the sword energy. The next second, the light of the star shone over, and the shattered body quickly began to recover. These starlights are like weaving threads, reweaving the broken body of the starlight mist spirit together. Lin Mo's heart moved, and the undead law appeared on the skeleton divine general. Bearing the law, even if it is only 1% of the law, it makes the skeleton divine general's combat power rise to a new level. Several more sword energies were waved out, and this time the sword energy had an extra layer of gray-white color than before. The sword energy once again tore the body of the starlight mist spirit to pieces. This time, the sword energy was imbued with the power of death from the undying law, corroding its body. The starlight shining from the star lost its effect, no longer able to repair their wounds. Moreover, the undying law rapidly expanded the wounds, drastically deepening the corrosion. The starlight mist spirit's body was cut into 8 pieces by the sword energy, but it did not die. After the starlight lost its ability to repair, the starlight mist spirit's body began to shine brilliantly. Intense starlight erupted from its wounds, and the starlight, like a law, forcibly reconnected the broken pieces. It looked like a large piece of cloth, clearly torn, but still connected by lingering threads. The shattered mist spirit lunged at Lin Mo Yu with a scream, the starlight on its body turning into its weapon. Streaks of thin starlight shot over, hitting the skeleton divine general and Lin Mo Yu. The attack power wasn't strong. The starlight mist spirit, at tier 6 of the transcendent god realm, only had an attack power that barely reached the standard of tier 5 of the transcendent god realm. The skeleton divine general ignored its attack, and Lin Mo Yu ignored it even more. The skeleton divine general continuously unleashed sword energy, shattering it into pieces. Finally, even the starlight dimmed, unable to maintain the connection any longer, and it exploded in the dense sword energy. The starlight mist spirit died, turning into a ball of starlight that shone brilliantly in the starry sky for a full 10 seconds. In the end, only a crystal ball the size of a fist remained. This was the crystal core left behind by the mist spirit, the item needed for the mission. The detection spell landed on the crystal core. Starlight Crystal Core contains the Starlight Law, which can be used to comprehend the law or to refine equipment. Lin Mo Yu held the Starlight Crystal Core, his eyes flickering slightly. He understood why the mission stated that major damage to the star system was prohibited. This non-living star system was the production factory for Starlight Crystal Cores. The star system would continuously produce Starlight Mist Spirits. Cultivators accepted missions, eliminated the Starlight Mist Spirits, and obtained the Crystal Cores. The mission was completed, and the cultivators received points, which could be used to purchase various items. The submitted Crystal Cores could be used to comprehend the Starlight Law or to refine equipment. Win-win. Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly, put away the Starlight Crystal Core, and quickly flew towards the next target. The Starlight Mist Spirit's vitality was indeed strong. Ordinary attacks, even if they shattered them into pieces, were difficult to kill them. A large part of their bodies was composed of the Starlight Law, possessing extremely strong recovery abilities. Even if they were smashed, they could recover as long as they were given a little time. It was necessary to use the law to completely obliterate the Starlight Law within their bodies. But this would take a lot more effort. But facing Lin Mo Yu, things seemed to become very simple. 0. Dozens or hundreds of skeleton divine generals swarmed forward, each attacking one after another, instantly annihilating the Starlight Mist Spirit. Lin Mo Yu searched one after another, killing 5 or 6 in just half an hour. If this continued, the mission could be completed in just half a day. But Lin Mo Yu was not satisfied with this speed. For him, killing Starlight Mist Spirits was fast, but the most time-consuming part was finding them. There were a large number of fragmented stars in the star system, and some of these fragmented stars contained Starlight Mist Spirits. The ones he killed were all found on fragmented stars, and their levels were all tier 6 of the Transcendent God Realm. Killing them was very easy. If I could find a group of Starlight Mist Spirits. Lin Mo Yu pondered, his eyes filled with the undying law, and he began to search. Soon, he saw a large number of Starlight Mist Spirits. Stars. In the star system, there were many Starlight Mist Spirits on several large planets. But similarly, there were also many cultivators on the planets. Apart from the fragmented stars and planets, the stars had the largest number of starlight mist spirits, but there were no cultivators. Lin Moyu instinctively felt that something was wrong. Although stars could cause some damage to cultivators at Tier 8 and Tier 9 of the Transcendent God realm could still move freely on the stars. As long as they didn't stay on them for a long time, they would be fine. Lin Moyu also believed that these people definitely knew that there were a large number of starlight mist spirits on the stars. But why didn't they go? There must be something strange about it. 1.3. After pondering slightly, he roughly guessed several possibilities. The biggest possibility was that they would be attacked by a group. The starlight mist spirits on the stars were very close to each other. It was very likely that killing one would attract a group. Even if the attack power of the starlight mist spirits was weak, quantitative change could lead to qualitative change. Moreover, the starlight mist spirits had strong vitality and were difficult to kill. Once a siege was formed, it would be a troublesome situation. Lin Moyu could imagine that situation. Unless the cultivators on the planets joined forces, they might be able to clear the stars. But everyone was doing their own tasks, so how could they join forces? The corners of his mouth rose slightly. Since that's the case, then I won't be polite. He took out the god-slaying fortress, transformed into a bolt of lightning again, and flew towards the nearest star. Chapter 934. Stabbing the Mist Spirit Nest, Riot. The lightning transformed by the god-slaying fortress was slightly eye-catching in the dark universe starry sky. It crossed the entire star system at an amazing speed, approaching the star. The star was bright and the sun shone. For hundreds of millions of years, it had been emitting scorching light. On the surface of the star, countless starlight mist spirits were lying on it. From time to time, mist spirits flew out of it and entered the starry sky world. The star seemed to have become the origin of the starlight mist spirits. The life star system of the human race refers to a star system suitable for the human race to live in. And this non-living star system is the home of the starlight mist spirits and the source of the starlight crystal cores for the human race. When there were still 20,000 kilometers away from the star, Lin Moyu put away the god-slaying fortress and flew out of it. The size of the star was beyond Lin Moyu's imagination. The star erupted with flames, and the height of the flames could exceed thousands of kilometers, like a fire pillar about to pierce the sky, extremely hot. Lin Moyu was not even a small dot in front of the star. But such an insignificant dot was about to set off a huge wave. In the area tens of thousands of kilometers away from the star, countless starlight mist spirits were floating. The starlight mist spirits enjoyed the illumination of the star's light, but 30 did not really get close to the star. The flames on the star were not something they liked, but the light of the star was their favorite thing. So the star mist spirits lived tens of thousands of kilometers above the surface of the star. This way, they got the starlight they needed and stayed away from the flames. Feeling the life aura of the mist spirits, many of the starlight mist spirits here had reached Tier 7 of the Transcendent God realm. The starlight could allow them to grow. There were also a few starlight mist spirits at Tier 8 of the Transcendent God realm. Those were the leader-level starlight mist spirits, and they were also what Lin Moyu needed to pay attention to. As he approached, Lin Moyu saw their appearance clearly. As his level increased, the starlight mist spirit's size grew significantly. When a Tier 7 transcendent starlight mist spirit fully expanded, its body length exceeded a kilometer. A Tier 8 transcendent one, however, surpassed 5 kilometers, becoming incredibly massive. Lin Moyu's arrival caught the attention of the mist spirit. While still thousands of kilometers apart, the mist spirit emitted a sharp warning, telling Lin Moyu to retreat. The mist spirit's voice drilled into his soul, echoing incessantly within his soul's world, which was very unpleasant. Lin Moyu ignored it and continued to approach. More and more mist spirits noticed Lin Moyu, and they all began emitting sharp warning sounds. The warning sounds became increasingly piercing. Lin Moyu blocked the sound and plunged straight in. Like a boulder dropped into a calm lake, the tranquility that had persisted for countless years was shattered. Waves surged, and the starlight mist spirits completely erupted in a frenzy. They frantically pounced on Lin Moyu, and countless beams of starlight bombarded him, trying to tear him to shreds. Lin Moyu's body shimmered with white light as the bone armor emerged. Spell linking activated, and a pure white light enveloped the mist spirit's world. The bone fangs and spears were incredibly sharp, piercing into the mist spirits' bodies. The next moment, the skeleton god generals and death dragon knights appeared in response, and the great battle officially began. The number of mist spirits was vast, and the undead legion was also considerable. Moreover, the skeleton god general's defense completely surpassed the mist spirits. Sword chi, infused with the law of immortality, tore apart the mist spirits' bodies. The death dragon knights spewed out scorching dragon breath, corroding the mist spirits' bodies. They charged back and forth among the mist spirits, tearing them to pieces. Almost in the blink of an eye, nearly 100 mist spirits were killed, and clusters of brilliant starlight burst out in the starry sky. The mission was completed in less than a minute. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and an invisible force collected the starlight crystal nuclei. He would use 100 starlight crystal nuclei to turn in the quest, and sell the rest for money. No one would complain about having too many points. The undead legion displayed overwhelming power, and the mist spirits were no match for them. The mist spirits emitted even sharper cries that echoed throughout most of the star system. Cultivators in the star system heard the mist spirits' voices and then saw the battle on the surface of the star. Each of them widened their eyes, revealing expressions of disbelief. In an instant, the entire star system became lively, with soul voices rising one after another. Are they crazy? They actually dare to go to the star. The mist spirit groups in the stars are not easy to kill. Is this person out of their mind? Once the mist spirits react, they will die a horrible death. Not good, the mist spirits are about to riot. That idiot, how could they provoke the mist spirits on the star? The mist is rioting, retreat quickly. Retreat quickly, people are going to die. Amid the sharp cries, a large number of mist spirits suddenly emerged from various parts of the star system. These mist spirits had drifted out of the star over countless years and were hidden in the star system. They were in the shattered star clusters, asteroid belts, and on the surface and inside of planets. Mist spirits appeared everywhere. Filled with madness, they began to attack the nearby humans. Lin Moyu's actions had completely enraged the mist spirits, and the mist spirits began to riot. All the cultivators retreated frantically, trying to leave the star system. Fortunately, the mist spirits' attack power was not strong. Although there were many of them, the damage was limited. The cultivators reacted extremely quickly, and they had already begun to retreat when the riot first broke out. Most of them successfully fought their way out, and not many were trapped inside. Lin Moyu also noticed the mist spirit riot. He had not expected that such a thing would happen. He had stirred up the mist spirit's nest, causing a riot of mist spirits throughout the entire star system. More mist spirits surged toward him. He himself was not worried. Although there were many mist spirits, the damage was limited, and they could not do anything against his undead legion. Even the Tier 8 Transcendent Mist Spirit leader was ignored by him. This was why this mission was defined as low risk. If there had been no riot, there would indeed have been no danger in the mission. Lin Moyu looked toward the distance, his eyes surged with laws, and he saw that most people in the star system had already escaped. Only a few were trapped in the encirclement and had not escaped. These people had been harmed by himself. With a slight movement of his will, 10,000 Death Dragon Knights charged in all directions. He had to resolve the matter he had caused. Lin Moyu did not want anyone to die in vain because of his mistake. The Death Dragon Knights continuously launched charges, rushing to save people at an astonishing speed. The mist spirits along the way were knocked out with huge holes, unable to stop the Death Dragon Knights at all. Zhou Ling was originally fighting fiercely with a Tier 7 Transcendent Mist Spirit. His strength was only a Tier 7 Transcendent, which barely met the standard for accepting the mission. After accepting this mission, he discovered that the mist spirits were not strong. Although they were difficult to kill, there was no danger. So he started doing the mission with peace of mind, and killed his way into the star system. With the sudden arrival of the Mist Spirit Riot, he was very unlucky. 3 Tier 7 Transcendent Mist Spirits suddenly emerged around him, surrounding him. This caused him to be unable to retreat, and then more and more Mist Spirits came from all directions. Zhou Ling fell into despair, knowing that he would have difficulty escaping today. As for the culprit who caused the Mist Spirit Riot, Zhou Ling did not even have time to hate him, but just felt that he was very wronged and too unlucky. He fought back desperately. As a human cultivator, he would not sit still and wait for death. As hope became increasingly slim and his injuries became more and more serious. Suddenly a voice sounded in his soul. Hold on a little longer. Then the sound of a dragon's roar resounded. Chapter 935, This is no fun. Hold on a little longer. Zhou Ling heard the voice very clearly. It was like a ray of light suddenly appearing in the darkness and despair, bringing a glimmer of hope. In the dragon's roar, he saw many white bone dragons covered in silver and fire, flying from the starry sky. The starlight mist spirits were smashed to pieces. Countless clusters of brilliant starlight appeared in the starry sky, which were the corpses left behind after the starlight mist spirits died. The Death Dragon Knights cleared a path leading to the outside of the star system. I'm saved. Zhou Ling breathed a long sigh of relief. He looked at Lin Mo Yu outside the star. Although he caused the mist spirit riot, he also saved him. He had no hate or blame for Lin Mo Yu. In any case, Lin Mo Yu saved him. Zhou Ling even saluted Lin Mo Yu to express his gratitude. Leave first. Lin Mo's voice slowly sounded. Yes. Zhou Ling did not hesitate at all, and immediately left along the path cleared by Lin Mo. The same scene is constantly being staged in the starry sky. Although Lin Mo caused the mist spirits to riot, putting some people in danger. But he also made amends, and no one died because of him. Those who initially blamed Lin Mo changed their views after seeing what Lin Mo did. A group of people gathered outside the galaxy, watching the development of the situation. It seems he didn't do it on purpose. He should be a newcomer and doesn't know much about the situation here. Of course, he is a newcomer. Look at his Transcendent God Stage 3. Transcendent God Stage 3, Tier 3 permissions, but with strength comparable to Transcendent God Stage 8, this person is amazing. More than Transcendent God Stage 8, look at him facing so many mist spirits with ease. We might not be able to do it even if we all go together. And he still has the strength to save people. What kind of spell is this? How can there be so many summons, and each one is very strong? At least it's a stellar spell, and possibly a multi-stellar spell. Everyone was talking, only feeling that Lin Mo was extremely mysterious. Someone once raised their permissions to Tier 3 at Transcendent God Stage 3. The result was very bad, everyone was dumbfounded, and they couldn't complete the Tier 3 missions at all. They could only honestly recomprehend the laws and cultivate their levels. The tasks they accepted also ended in failure. Not only were there no rewards, but they also had to be punished, which was not worth the loss. Originally, they thought Lin Mo was the same, but Lin Mo completely exceeded their imagination. Lin Mo, at the level of Transcendent God Stage 3, was killing wantonly in the encirclement of countless mist spirits. Bright starlight continued to appear in the starry sky, all of which were starlight exploded after the death of the mist spirits. Smart people have already realized that a powerful genius has appeared in the human race. Outside the star, Lin Mo was killing wantonly. The attack power of the mist spirits was too weak to pose any threat to the undead legion. The only problem was that the number of mist spirits was too large, far exceeding the undead legion. His 360,000 skeleton divine generals and 50,000 death dragon knights were already fighting with all their strength. As a result, the number of mist spirits continued to increase. Transcendent God Stage 8, leader-level mist spirits began to appear on a large scale. These mist spirits possessed powerful vitality and were difficult to kill. Lin Mo also knew that the limit of his undead legion was like this, just enough to grind down Transcendent God Stage 8, and there was nothing he could do against Transcendent God Stage 9. Lin Mo was also helpless about this. He could only say that his level was not high enough. If his strength could be improved by another 1 or 2 levels, it would be a different picture. Another problem was that there were no corpses after the mist spirits died. He couldn't use the corpse explosion spell, otherwise, no matter how many starlight mist spirits there were, they would only be delivering food. More and more Transcendent God Stage 8 mist spirits appeared, and Lin Mo's killing speed also became slower and slower. Suddenly, the star in front of him vibrated violently. A ray of bright starlight shot out from the star, illuminating the entire galaxy. In the starlight, a huge starlight mist spirit flew out. This starlight mist spirit was completely different from other mist spirits. The body length of a Transcendent God Stage 8 mist spirit was only between 5,000 and 10,000 meters. But this starlight mist spirit had a body length of over 1,000 kilometers, comparable to a small planet. Streams of light appeared on its body, colorful and dreamlike. Especially after it fully opened its body, it was overwhelming, covering the starry sky. Countless thin lines shot out like starlight, landing on the undead skeletons. The laws of starlight intertwined, erupting with amazing destructive power. Bang bang bang, the skeleton divine generals and death dragon knights exploded and shattered. Lin Mo's heart skipped a beat. This attack power is a true god. The detection spell flew out. Starlight Mist Spirit King. Level: True God. Characteristics: a special life form produced by the mutual impact of intertwined laws of starlight. The True God level Mist Spirit King has even stronger vitality, and its attack power is no longer weak. Weak attack power was the shortcoming of the Mist Spirits. But when it was promoted to True God, this shortcoming was smoothed out. Unexpectedly, a True God level Mist Spirit King was hidden in the star. True God, he was definitely not an opponent. Even if it couldn't do anything to him, he couldn't do anything to it either. Its attack had exceeded the limit that the undead could withstand, enough to kill the undead instantly. However, there were too many undead, and they could be resurrected 6 times. Lin Mo only needed to control it slightly, and let the undead withstand the attack in a cycle, and it would be difficult to be killed. Lin Mo could foresee that if he fought against it, it would probably take a year and a half without any results. The attacks of the skeleton divine generals landed on its body, only causing negligible wounds, which were almost completely recovered in an instant. In that case, what was the point of fighting? Lin Mo turned around and wanted to leave. But the Mist Spirit King obviously didn't want him to leave. Its too powerful body suddenly wrapped into a ball, surrounding Lin Mo and the Undead Legion. This is no fun, Lin Mo thought to himself, thinking about how to solve this problem. As long as he opened a gap, he could escape. The mission time was only 10 days, and he had to return within 10 days, otherwise the mission would be judged as a failure. He already had more than 10,000 starlight crystal nuclei in his hand. If the mission was judged as a failure like this, it would be too unfair. What should I do? Lin Mo thought, but for a while, he couldn't think of a solution to the problem. If I had known, I should have bought a True God level corpse for backup. There was everything in the trading center, and he had seen the corpses of transcendent God level beings. Then there must also be corpses of True God level beings. Others used them to refine weapons, make pills, and make puppets. He could use them to play corpse explosions. Still, the time to enter the great world is too short, and the experience is insufficient. Lin Mo sighed inwardly. Suddenly, a sword light flew from afar, cutting through the body of the Mist Spirit King. Lin Mo heard a scream from the soul. The Mist Spirit King's huge body was split in 2 by the sword light. Then Lin Mo heard a loud voice, "This old man has been waiting for you for many years, and you have finally come out." Chapter 936. What do you need that thing for? The moment the voice came, the sword light intertwined into a large net, covering the starry sky. It enveloped both the Mist Spirit King and Lin Mo Yu. The sword light was incredibly sharp, exuding a keen law. The law was extremely similar to the Mist Spirit King's Starlight Law, only much more powerful. I don't know if it's a true god or a god king. Lin Mo Yu's eyes narrowed slightly as he thought to himself. The Mist Spirit King screamed incessantly, aware of its fear. Lin Mo Yu saw a tall and stalwart figure, his whole body radiant and gleaming, like a star shooting from afar. I have waited for you for many years, and finally I have waited for you to come out. By obtaining your crystal core, I will surely be able to advance to God King. From his words, Lin Mo Yu could judge that this person was a true god, and a peak true god at that, only 1 step away from God King. The information revealed by the other party also verified Lin Mo Yu's guess. A name: Fang Xingzonga. A level: True God 9th Order. Fang Xingzong was a true god 9th order, controlling at least 26% of the law, possibly even 30% of the law. However, Lin Mo Yu himself currently only controlled 3% of the law. Each 1% increase in the 323 law mastery degree would greatly increase strength. Coupled with the difference in soul level, the difference in strength between the two was already unreasonable. Lin Mo Yu knew that even if his defense was strong, if Fang Xingzong wanted to kill him, with soul tracking, it would only take 1 sword strike. The Mist Spirit King screamed, and Lin Mo Yu could hear a bit more fear in its voice. It seemed to be afraid of Fang Xingzong. Fang Xingzong's eyes were filled with a smile. You have been hiding for so many years, this time it is impossible to let you hide away again. As he spoke, he gently clenched his palm. The sword net woven from starlight laws suddenly contracted, tearing the Mist Spirit King to pieces. The Mist Spirit King screamed, its whole body erupting with dazzling starlight, trying to recover from its injuries. But under Fang Xingzong's starlight law, it was of no use. The Starlight Mist Spirit King never imagined that it would die under the starlight law it was best at. If it had known this would happen, it probably would not have come out. Wasn't it good to hide in the star? Why come out? A huge light mass appeared in the starry sky, completely lighting up the entire starry sky, and the light shot out of the starry sky, spreading outward at the speed of light. After all, it was a true God-level life, and the light that erupted after the death of the Starlight Mist Spirit King exceeded the brightness of a star. Perhaps in 53 years, the light that erupted here could be seen from star 98 to 1. The speed of light is constant and will not change. After the Mist Spirit King died, the extreme brightness made it impossible for Lin Moyu to open his eyes. But through soul perception, Lin Moyu witnessed the entire process. A colorful starlight crystal core appeared in the starry sky. This was the essence of the Mist Spirit King, a true God-level starlight crystal core. It proved that the Mist Spirit King had once existed. Lin Moyu could feel that the starlight crystal core contained extremely strong starlight laws. Fang Xingzong reached out and took the starlight crystal core into his hand, laughing loudly, "Not bad, not bad." Lin Moyu didn't know who Fang Xingzong was referring to when he said, "Not bad." But it could be seen that he was very happy now, in a very good mood. Lin Moyu bowed slightly to Fang Xingzong. "Thank you, senior, for saving me." Fang Xingzong waved his hand. "Little fellow, I should be thanking you. It was thanks to you that you lured the Mist Spirit King out, otherwise I don't know how long I would have had to wait." Lin Moyu quickly shook his head. This junior only did it unintentionally. Fang Xingzong's voice was loud and his way of speaking was very direct. "Don't care whether it was unintentional or not, what you did was beneficial to me, so I should thank you. This true God-level starlight crystal core is useful to me, so I can't give it to you. What do you need? Just say it." Seeing his appearance, Lin Moyu realized that Fang Xingzong's personality should be like this, very straightforward. This kind of person speaks and acts like this, not liking to beat around the bush. This kind of person also has a characteristic, that is, they will do whatever they recognize. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't speak, Fang Xingzong became a little impatient. "Little fellow, I don't like owing people favors, just say what you want, I'll give you what I have. If I don't have it, I'll find a way to get it for you. As long as it's not too much, I can generally agree." Since that was the case, Lin Moyu was no longer polite. "Senior, can you give this junior a corpse of a true God-level creature?" Hearing Lin Moyu's request, Fang Xingzong was slightly stunned. "What do you want this kind of thing for?" He thought that Lin Moyu would want something like pills, weapons, or something like that. Or just ask for points directly. He didn't expect him to want the corpse of a true God-level creature. Fang Xingzong couldn't help but frown, not because he was unwilling to give it, but because he didn't have one on hand. Fang Xingzong asked, "What order of true God do you want?" Lin Moyu said, "Any order is fine." Fang Xingzong nodded. "I don't have one on hand right now, but it's okay, I'll go find one for you later. Let's exchange contact information, and when I find one, I'll have someone send it over." Lin Moyu was not polite and directly gave his contact information to Fang Xingzong. Star 98 to 1, Lin Moyu. Transcendent God Third Order. At this time, Fang Xingzong noticed Lin Moyu's level, his eyes filled with surprise, and he couldn't help but take a few more glances at Lin Moyu. He had seen Lin Moyu's performance just now, causing the Mist Spirit riot, and then taking action to save people during the riot, and finally luring out the Mist Spirit King. Even though he was trapped by the Mist Spirit King, he was still calm and unhurried, without the slightest panic. He had seen Lin Moyu's performance, and it could be said to be impeccable. Fang Xingzong couldn't help but sigh. Transcendent God Third Order with this kind of strength, young and promising. Lin Moyu was very humble. "Senior, you flatter me, this junior is still far from it." Fang Xingzong waved his hand. "No need to be humble, I never talk nonsense, saying you are young and promising means you are young and promising. Although you caused the riot without knowing the severity of the situation at the beginning, it was still very good that you took action to save people. If I had taken action, and the Mist Spirit King knew of my existence, it definitely would not have come out. So in the final analysis, it was you who inadvertently made it happen for me. I have been waiting for it for decades, and this time I can finally break through to true God and achieve God King." Lin Moyu said, "Then I will congratulate you in advance, senior." Fang Xingzong nodded. "All right, I'll send it to you when I get the true God level corpse." Lin Moyu thanked him again. "Thank you, senior, it doesn't have to be a complete corpse, a damaged one is fine, and time is not important." I've written it down. Fang Xingzong nodded, stepped on his long sword, and flew away as starlight. The speed was so fast that he had already disappeared from sight in an instant. Looking at the empty starry sky, the Mist Spirit King's figure, the remaining mist spirits had long since disappeared, not knowing where they had gone. Lin Mo Yu did not go looking for them, took out the god-slaying fortress, and flew away quickly. Chapter 937 Permissions to the Great World are really important. After struggling through the teleportation array, he returned to star 98-1. Lin Mo Yu's eyes showed a trace of lingering fear. When he returned to the teleportation array, a group of people surrounded him. The posture was like looking at rare animals in a zoo. Especially some female cultivators. Even Lin Mo Yu, who had experienced a lot, was a little overwhelmed. The boldness in her eyes suggested she might directly make a move. I barely managed to break through the encirclement and activate the teleportation array to escape. That was a bit scary. Lin Mo also didn't expect that the female cultivators in the Great World could be so uninhibited. Since arriving in the Great World, he hadn't interacted with many female cultivators. Most of his interactions had been with Jiyu Qingshan. Jiyu Qingshan was gentle, generous, and straightforward, making her easy to get along with. He thought that female cultivators in the Great World would all be like that. He never expected that it wouldn't be the case at all. Lin Mo couldn't figure it out because there was a principle in the Great World: the strong are respected. Lin Mo's performance was too outstanding, and he already possessed all the conditions to become a strong person. How could someone like that not be popular? Returning to the mission center, he went to the counter to submit his mission. He went to Lin Xiaoyu again. The two sisters indeed looked very similar, but the younger sister, Lin Xiaoyu, was more shy and not as mature as her older sister, Lin Xiaoyu. The mission that was supposed to take 10 days was completed in about half a day. Needless to say, the evaluation would definitely be good. The first of the 10 missions required for the chain quest was completed. If nothing else had happened, Lin Mo would have only spent less than 2 hours in total. But even half a day was fast enough. Another entry was added to the completed mission list. The Clear Suzaku 000077 Non-Life Star System mission had become completed and had also disappeared from the overall mission list, making it impossible to accept again. Lin Mo didn't accept any other missions and instead went to the trading center. This time, he obtained over 10,000 starlight crystal cores. After submitting the 100 required for the mission, he had extras to sell. He had no use for these things, so it was better to exchange them for points. The trading center was as lively as ever. After not seeing them for several days, Lin Mo saw several familiar faces again. They hadn't sold all the goods in their hands. Such a waste of time. Lin Mo shook his head inwardly. He respected other people's choices, but if it were him, he would never do that. There were too few good things in the trading center of a low-level life star. Most of them were things below the true god level, which were useless to him. He directly entered the trading center. His eyes scanned the trading center, and he found Chu Yan. "Help me arrange a trading room," Lin Mo said straightforwardly. He was already a regular customer, so there was no need to beat around the bush. Although he didn't know the value of the starlight crystal cores, it would definitely not be lower than starlight gold. The value of this transaction would definitely exceed 10,000 points. Chu Yan smiled and bowed to Lin Mo. "Okay, Senior Lin, please wait a moment, I will arrange it for you." Chu Yan didn't ask Lin Mo what items he needed to trade. Every staff member in the trading center had their own responsibilities. He was only responsible for reception. The matter of trading items was not under his purview, nor was it his turn to manage it. One must not overstep one's authority. The rules of the human race were very strict. Why there were such strict rules requires discussing the history of the human race, which is too far and distant. It can only be said that the human race had suffered from being lax. Later, they had to strictly manage and differentiate levels. It was both a restriction and a protection. However, all the rules only began to be implemented after the Human Emperor Network appeared. The Great World was too large. Without the Human Emperor Network, it would be impossible to conduct strict management. Lin Mo had read some information in this regard. He knew that what he had currently come into contact with was only the tip of the iceberg of the Great World's human race. Only when his permissions were constantly improved could he come into contact with more things. Chu Yan moved quickly and arranged the trading room in just 2 minutes. "Senior, it's still trading room 003, Chu Yan smiled and led the way for Lin Mo. Lin Mo asked, 3 times in a row, it's the same trading room. It seems a bit coincidental. Chu Yan explained, our trading center has regulations. If you have no complaints about the previous transaction, the same trading room and the same trader will be arranged next time. Of course, if you have any other requirements, you can also raise them, and we will try our best to meet them. Lin Mo smiled and shook his head, no need, it's good to be familiar with it. In the trading room, Lin Xiaoyu had already boiled the water and brewed the tea. Seeing Lin Mo, her beautiful eyes smiled into crescent moons, Senior Lin, we meet again. Lin Mo was also polite and sat down at the table, yes, we meet again. He picked up the teacup and took a sip, not bad, this tea is better than before. The person brewing the tea was still the same person, and the technique was the same, so it could only be said that the tea leaves had improved. The previous tea was also good, but it was just ordinary tea. But this time's tea, after drinking it, one could clearly feel the difference. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers 0 AAAAAAA. There seemed to be a trace of weak laws flowing in the tea leaves. Wherever it went, the body would naturally present a state of relaxation. Thoughts also seemed to become clearer. Do you also have a grading system for customers, using different teas to entertain different customers? Lin Xiaoyu's smile grew even wider, with a bit of playfulness. Senior Lin guessed it, there is indeed this rule, but it is distinguished according to the senior's permission level. I see, it seems that permissions in the great world are really important. Lin Mo gently tapped the table twice, understanding somewhat. Lin Xiaoyu refilled Lin Mo's hot tea, and the tea fragrance became even richer. This tea tastes better after the second brew, Senior, please taste it. She didn't seem to be in a hurry to make a deal, but chatted with Lin Mo. Her beautiful eyes were filled with curiosity about Lin Mo. Lin Mo tasted it, and it was indeed better than before, and the laws were also more distinct. The effect of clearing the mind and improving eyesight was also stronger. Lin Xiaoyu asked softly, Senior is from a small world. Lin Mo nodded, that's right. Senior is really amazing, to be able to cultivate to the super god level from a small world, it's really rare, Lin Xiaoyu sincerely praised, and sincerity could be felt from her tone, without pretense. Lin Mo laughed, I'm just lucky. Our small world has produced many super gods, and even brought the people from the small world out. Senior means, the entire clan left the small world. Lin Xiaoyu's eyes widened, seeming a little disbelieving. Lin Mo nodded, that's right, the entire clan entered the great world. But that was several thousand years ago, and I don't know how they are now. Lin Xiaoyu tilted her head, several thousand years ago, the entire clan entered the great world. I seem to have heard of this before. Oh, Lin Mo was slightly stunned, revealing a look of curiosity. The small world he was in belonged to this starry sky. Perhaps he really could have heard of it. Lin Xiaoyu thought for a while but couldn't remember. Sorry, Senior, I can't remember, I'll go home and look for information, maybe I can find it. Lin Mo smiled, it seems your family is also extraordinary. Lin Xiaoyu's pretty face blushed slightly, there's nothing extraordinary, just a little old, with records of some things that happened in history. In fact, when Senior's permissions are raised to level 5, you can query a lot of ancient information. The Human Emperor Network has records of everything in history. Chapter 938. Trading Starlight Crystal Nuclei, Heading to the Cultivation Ground. The existence of the Human Emperor Network dates back a very long time. Since its inception, all major and minor events within the human race have been recorded. With sufficient permissions, even the oldest data can be accessed. Lin Xiaoyu's words reminded Lin Mo. In the end, it all comes down to permissions. Permission level and strength are, to some extent, linked. Thank you. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Lin Xiaoyu's eyes turned into crescent moons again, appearing very happy. Senior, you don't have to be so polite. Actually, even if I didn't say it, Senior would soon find out. Lin Xiaoyu didn't take credit, appearing extremely humble. The two people's names differed by only one character, making them feel quite compatible. After chatting for a while, Lin Mo took out the items for this trade. Starlight Crystal Nuclei, pulsating with captivating light. The starlight laws within intertwined into dreamlike threads. Holding a fist-sized starlight crystal nucleus in his hand was like holding a miniature star. Lin Xiaoyu's eyes sparkled with a captivating luster, seemingly fascinated. Such beautiful starlight crystal nuclei, Senior Lin, may I take a look? She clearly recognized the starlight crystal nuclei, yet it was as if she was seeing them for the first time. This contradictory behavior made Lin Mo somewhat curious. Lin Mo placed the starlight crystal nucleus on the table. Have you not seen starlight crystal nuclei before? Lin Xiaoyu smiled shyly. I've only seen them in the trading center, but I haven't seen them this closely. Other seniors who complete tasks will also have extra starlight crystal nuclei to trade, but the quantity is not large. As she spoke, Lin Xiaoyu picked up the starlight crystal nucleus, holding it in her hand and carefully examining it. It's truly like a perfect work of art, so beautiful. Seeing her so cautious, Lin Mo found it somewhat amusing. Starlight crystal nuclei are produced after the death of starlight mist spirits, and can be said to be the essence of the mist spirits containing starlight laws within. Their hardness far surpasses steel. They wouldn't break no matter how you drop them, so there was no need to be so careful. Lin Mo drank tea, waiting for Lin Xiaoyu to finish admiring it before speaking. How many points is a starlight crystal nucleus worth? Lin Xiaoyu said, starlight crystal nuclei contain starlight laws, making them very beautiful. Unfortunately, they are only transcendent god level, so their value isn't too high. Each transcendent god level starlight crystal nucleus is worth 2 points. Lin Mo had anticipated this price. Since transcendent god level beings weren't even considered cannon fodder, transcendent god level items naturally wouldn't be expensive. Lin Mo nodded. Okay, activate the trading disc. I'll throw all the starlight crystal nuclei in. Okay. Lin Xiaoyu activated the trading disc beside her. Lin Mo waved his hand, throwing all the starlight crystal nuclei he had obtained into the trading disc. The trading disc shone brightly. Lin Xiaoyu could sense the situation inside the trading disc in real time. When she saw more and more starlight crystal nuclei being thrown in, her beautiful eyes grew wider and wider. How can there be so many? She covered her small mouth, in disbelief. She had originally thought that Lin Mo would have a few hundred or 1,000 starlight crystal nuclei at most. After all, Lin Mo was only at the 3rd level of the transcendent god realm. It should be said that completing this task was already very remarkable. Being able to obtain extra starlight crystal nuclei would be considered very, very excellent. She never expected there would be so many. Lin Xiaoyu couldn't help but wonder if the Lin senior in front of her had raided the starlight mist spirit's nest. Her guess was correct. Lin Mo had indeed raided the starlight mist spirit's nest. Finally throwing all the starlight mist spirits over, Lin Mo clapped his hands lightly. Calculate it. Okay. The trading disc had an automatic statistics and calculation function, quickly providing the numbers. There are a total of 11,347, totaling 22,694 points. The points have been credited. Senior Lin can check them yourself. Lin Xiaoyu's voice trembled slightly. As a transaction master, this was the first time she had received a transaction of over 10,000 points. In this low-level star system, those who come and go are all people below the 3rd level permission, and their strength rarely exceeds true god. Let alone tens of thousands of points, even transactions of thousands of points are rare. Someone like Lin Mo was very rare, even almost non-existent. Lin Mo checked his points. A points. 42,253, 12,350 A. The total points had reached 40,000, and the task points had reached 12,350. Lin Mo was already very satisfied with these points. Not bad. Lin Mo smiled slightly, and took out another starlight crystal nucleus and placed it on the table. This is for you. Seeing that Lin Xiaoyu liked it, he had deliberately kept one. Lin Xiaoyu showed surprise, smiling like a flower, and did not decline. Thank you, Senior Lin. You're welcome. I may have to trouble you again next time. Lin Mo activated the teleportation array and left the trading center. After Lin Mo left, Lin Xiaoyu's beautiful eyes gleamed. This senior, whose name differed from hers by only one character, made her feel somewhat mysterious. At the 3rd level of the transcendent god realm, he had reached the 3rd level permission. This wasn't one of those fools who had their permissions raised but lacked the strength. She believed that Lin Mo had the strength, otherwise these transactions would not have occurred these past few times. Lin Mo not only had the strength to fight beyond his level, but his strength was also very strong. Senior Lin is really amazing. I hope I can be so amazing in the future. Lin Xiaoyu held the starlight crystal nucleus, once again attracted by the dreamlike nature of the starlight crystal nucleus. After Lin Mo left, he did not return to the mission center, but instead looked for a mission room nearby. In the area where cultivators are active, there are many such mission rooms. Spending a little points can allow you to stay in the mission room for a long time, used to connect to the Human Emperor network. Of course, you can also go to the living area to find a hotel or something, or buy your own house. But this price is too expensive, much more expensive than a mission room. You can also dig a hole in the wild or in the deep mountains and old forests, but the safety is much worse, and you may be disturbed. Overall, the mission room has become the best choice. 1 point can rent for 100 days, you can't find anything cheaper than this. You can even rent a mission room together with 2 people, and the same 1 point is enough. Indeed, there are many couples who rent a mission room together for use. After paying the points and closing the door, Lin Mo entered the Human Emperor network. Through this mission, Lin Mo realized that his level was still too low, it would be best to improve it. If he could raise 2 more levels, even if Fang Xingzong didn't make a move this time, it would be difficult for the true god level Starlight Mist spirits to trap him. In the Human Emperor network, there is a place called the Human Emperor Cultivation Ground. Here, people can cultivate and comprehend laws. It is said that the effect of the Human Emperor Cultivation Ground is very good, and the efficiency is extremely high. However, the fees are also extremely expensive. So many people would rather look for suitable places to cultivate in the real world than go to the Human Emperor Cultivation Ground. There are really not enough points to use. Entering the Human Emperor network, Lin Mo teleported to the Human Emperor Cultivation Ground. Just arriving at the gate of the Human Emperor Cultivation Ground, a terrifying pressure swept over. Lin Mo's body swayed slightly, almost unable to stand still. Chapter 939, The Lost Star Sea, Let's Give It a Try. The starry sky was packed with people, everywhere you looked, and their majestic auras spread out wantonly, forming a massive pressure. It was almost impossible for Lin Mo to stand in the starry sky, his body swayed slightly for a few seconds before he barely managed to stand still. The reason why the Human Emperor Training Ground was special was because there were only 5 of them in total. The 4 major star regions each possessed 1 Human Emperor Training Ground. The other one belonged to the Central Divine City. It was precisely because of this that many cultivators from the Vermilion Bird Star region came here to cultivate. Many people did not hide their basic information, and you could see their names and levels. Everywhere you looked, there were divine kings. True gods here were only at the bottom, and even then, they were true gods at the 7th or 8th level. Those below the 5th level of true god were very rare. As for transcendent gods, they were even rarer. As for someone at the 3rd level of transcendent god coming here, it seemed like he was the only one. Lin Mo realized that he seemed to be becoming the center of attention again. Fortunately, what he thought would happen did not. Here, most people were cultivating. They were either standing or sitting, all motionless in the starry sky. Their eyes were slightly closed, enveloped in a faint glow. Lin Mo knew that they should have entered a state of cultivation. This was the Human Emperor network, not the real world. Everything was not as complicated as in the real world, all the rules could be freely decided by the Human Emperor network. Lin Mo looked away from the crowd and flew forward for a distance, and saw the real Human Emperor Training Ground. The Human Emperor Training Ground formed an independent star system, with countless stars within the system. Each star emitted a different aura of laws. This star system was extremely special, its form of existence completely violated the reality. In the star system, most of the stars were stationary, with only some stars in motion. There were dozens of stars just like the sun, and they emitted different lights. There were blue stars, deep red stars, and bright yellow stars. Different colored stars represented different laws. Different stars also represented different laws. Lin Mo seemed to understand the purpose of the Human Emperor Training Ground. After the Transcendent God level, the most important thing in cultivation was the soul and the laws. Here, the laws were almost materialized, which could greatly accelerate the speed of cultivation. It should be more than that. Lin Mo thought in his heart. He connected to the Human Emperor network and applied to use the training ground. Your level is Transcendent God level 3, and you have level 3 permissions. You can choose a maximum time flow rate of 10 times, costing 100 points per day. Lin Mo was taken aback by the information from the Human Emperor network. 10 times the time flow rate. In other words, cultivating here for 1 day is actually equivalent to cultivating for 10 days in the outside world. The time flow rate is accelerated here, 10 days here is only 1 day in the real world. It costs 100 points per day, So cultivating here for 10 days will cost 1000 points, which is equivalent to 1 day in the real world. Using 1 day of time plus 1000 points in exchange for 10 days of cultivation results. It's hard to say whether this deal is a profit or a loss. If the cultivation effect is very good, then it may still be a profit. If the cultivation effect is just average, 1000 points is not cheap. Especially for transcendent gods, it is even more so. So here, there are very few transcendent gods. The transcendent gods who can come here either have extraordinary abilities, or have family support and enough points. This way, they can have more time than others. But these were not what shocked Lin Mo. What really shocked Lin Mo was that the human emperor training ground actually possessed the law of time. In his understanding, only the law of time could change the flow of time. Lin Mo couldn't imagine what level the human emperor network was at. The existence that can freely manipulate the law of time is really terrifyingly strong. Imagining things is useless, you always have to experience it yourself. Lin Mo paid 1000 points. 1000 points can allow you to cultivate in the human emperor training ground for 1 day. 1 day here is actually 2.4 hours, 144 minutes in the real world. Whether it's worth it depends on the effect. A ray of light was born out of thin air and enveloped Lin Mo. Lin Mo felt that all the sounds disappeared, and the originally crowded people also disappeared without a trace at this moment. Only the starry sky was left in front of him, a special star system. It felt as if a clear stream descended from the sky and passed through his soul. His soul trembled, and his attention was extremely focused at this moment, and all the distracting thoughts in his heart disappeared. Welcome to the Human Emperor Training Ground. This training ground has the following functions and precautions. 1. Purify the soul and remove distracting thoughts. 2. Change the flow of time. The higher the permission, the greater the range of change in the flow rate, and the more points will be spent at the same time. 3. If you want to stop cultivating, you can choose to stop in your consciousness. 4. You can choose to continue cultivating. Once you choose, points will be automatically deducted until the points are exhausted. The Human Emperor Training Ground thoughtfully explained the function of the training ground, as well as some precautions. Basically, it is a user manual. You don't need to ask others, you can understand it after reading it once. Lin Mo spent a few minutes reading the instructions, and already understood the situation of the training ground. The next step is to officially start cultivating. The star system of the training ground is called the Sea of Laws. Those stars representing different laws are the drops of water in the sea. According to the method in the instructions, you only need to concentrate your consciousness on the Sea of Laws, and the Sea of Laws will automatically show the laws suitable for your cultivation. If you want to comprehend other laws, you can also choose them yourself. Some people 237 cultivate to a certain level and find it difficult to improve, and there are many who can learn by analogy. Laws cannot be taught through verbal expression, they can only be comprehended by themselves. Even the same law will be different when comprehended by different people. Especially after mastering the law, your own will be added to the law, and the difference will be further increased. The Sea of Laws contains most of the laws in the great world. However, most of them are laws in the third echelon, and some are laws in the second echelon. As for the laws in the first echelon, there is not a single one. Lin Mo looked towards the Sea of Laws, and the Sea of Laws suddenly expanded in front of him. Countless stars shone brightly, and then disappeared. Those disappearing law stars are not suitable for him. Ultimately, only 4 stars of law remained. The gray law of death, the jade white law of life, the fiercely burning law of fire, and the flickering law of lightning. These were the 4 laws that the Sea of Laws had chosen for Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu glanced at them and found that none of them were the laws he needed. The law of death and the law of life were indeed similar to the life and death aspects of his law of immortality, but their essence was different. The law of lightning was understandable, as he had often dealt with it for a period of time. Lin Mo Yu wasn't sure why there was a law of fire. Let's give it a try. Chapter 940, Misconception, there's no such thing as getting something for nothing in the world. None of the 4 laws were what Lin Mo Yu wanted. The law of immortality, law of time, and law of space that Lin Mo Yu wanted were nowhere to be found here. Let alone the law of chaos, which was something only found in legends. It could only be said that Lin Mo Yu's demands were too high, even he himself felt they were somewhat extravagant. Since he couldn't rely on the law of immortality, it would be better to return to the soul world and look at the law manifestations in the multi-star technique to comprehend them. Lin Moyu ultimately chose the law of lightning. At least this law would be of great benefit in driving the Godslayer fortress. After Lin Moyu made his choice, the remaining 3 law stars disappeared, leaving only the law of lightning star. On the law of lightning star, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, and the aura of the law was extremely dense. In Lin Moyu's perception, this level of law surpassed the stellar essence fire he had seen before, second only to law manifestation. In addition, the human emperor's cultivation field had the effect of a clear soul and concentrated attention, so comprehension here would definitely be very effective. When Lin Moyu concentrated his attention, all kinds of insights about the law of lightning came one after another. Lin Moyu felt that he had a new understanding of the law of lightning, and his control was constantly improving. Before, he only had a superficial understanding of the law of lightning, and could only barely drive it, not to mention control. But now, he felt that he was becoming more and more familiar with the law of lightning. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before he could control the law of lightning and separate a tributary from the river of laws of lightning. He had the good fortune to see the river of laws, and each law had its own river of laws. When he could control a certain law, even if it was only 1%, a tributary would be separated from the river of laws. Only after he had completely controlled the tributaries could he truly enter the river of laws. Now, his control over the law of lightning was rapidly increasing, and Lin Moyu was completely intoxicated by the beauty of the law. Ding! Suddenly, he woke up, and the law star in front of him receded and disappeared without a trace. His consciousness returned to his body, and he also broke away from the comprehension of the law. His consciousness had returned, but Lin Moyu was still immersed in the comprehension of the law, feeling unsatisfied. Time's up. Lin Moyu sighed lightly in his heart, the day had passed quickly. Back then, he comprehended the law of immortality on a yearly basis, often several years. Now, what was a mere day? However, after this day, Lin Moyu had a preliminary understanding of the magic of the human emperor's cultivation field. Although it was not law manifestation, its effect was not inferior to law manifestation at all. Even, to some extent, it surpassed law manifestation. Lin Moyu had full authority to speak on this matter. The law of immortality and the law of time were both manifested in his soul world. Although they had been manifested and were very clear, he still had to comprehend the laws within them himself. Therefore, Lin Moyu still spent a lot of time comprehending the law of immortality at that time. But the human emperor's cultivation field was different. When he comprehended the law of lightning, it was like having a very good teacher who personally taught you the mysteries of the law of lightning. Laws cannot be passed down orally, nor can they be recorded in materials. Lin Moyu also did not understand what method the human emperor network had used to actually tell him the mysteries of the law like a teacher giving a lecture. Although, he still needed to understand it himself. But in the entry stage, it was really much faster, and comprehending the law became very simple. If I follow the progress just now, I can establish a tributary of the law of lightning in at most 10 days. 1% of the law of lightning can greatly increase the power of the Godslayer fortress. But how did the human emperor network do it? It seems to violate the rule that laws cannot be passed down orally. Lin Moyu was very puzzled. He finally decided to continue to comprehend the law. With a thought, he spent 10,000 points to exchange for 10 days of cultivation time. A faint light enveloped Lin Moyu, and he entered the cultivation state again. The law of lightning star magnified in his vision, and various profound meanings and insights about the law of lightning surged again. Lin Moyu felt like there was an extremely dedicated teacher who was telling him all the secrets about the law of lightning in his ear. This was clearly something that violated the laws of the great world, and it was clear to everyone that laws could not be passed down orally. But in the human emperor's cultivation field, this rule was broken. With the guidance of a teacher, the speed was much faster than comprehending on one's own. In addition, the law of lightning belonged to the third tier of laws, and the difficulty of comprehension was much lower than the first and second tiers of laws. Lin Moyu's understanding of the law of lightning was improving at an alarming rate. Boom! Lin Moyu's soul opened its eyes. He saw the river of laws spanning the starry sky again. The river of laws of lightning was much smaller than the river of laws of immortality, and its momentum was far inferior to that of the river of laws of immortality. A small tributary extended from the river of laws and connected to the soul. Lightning flashed on the soul, and Lin Mo Yu knew that his control over the law of lightning had reached 1%. Only 8 days had passed, including the first day. It was only 9 days in total. In such a short period of time, he had comprehended the law of lightning to 1%. It was enough to complete the transformation from a half-step transcendent to a transcendent. The magic of the great world was once again displayed in front of Lin Mo Yu. No wonder it was said that small worlds were all resource poor. The human emperor's cultivation field alone could completely blow up all the small worlds. If there were similar cultivation fields in the small worlds, the possibility of transcendence being born in them would be many times greater. The river of laws only appeared for a few seconds before disappearing without a trace, hiding into the illusion again. After the control of the law reached 1%, the murmuring sound in his ear seemed to disappear. The extremely dedicated teacher was gone, and the various profound meanings and insights of the law no longer surged as frantically as before. Lin Mo Yu suddenly thought of a sentence: "The master leads you in, the cultivation is up to you." He had not mastered the law of lightning, so a teacher led him in. After entering the door, if he wanted to continue to cultivate, it would be up to him. I was wrong, there is no such good thing in the world. It turned out that he was only leading me in, and later I still had to rely on my own comprehension. In this way, the human emperor's cultivation field has not completely violated the laws of the great world, perhaps it has only taken a shortcut. Lin Mo Yu smiled dumbly. He really thought wrong. How difficult is it to comprehend the law? How could it be possible to get something for nothing? How could the laws of the great world be easily broken? There were still 2 days left, but Lin Mo Yu did not continue to comprehend the law. After entering the door, the speed of comprehension returned to normal, and there would not be too much achievement in a day or two. Taking this opportunity, Lin Mo Yu began to examine the sea of laws, counting exactly how many kinds of laws were within.